Hi, everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's kind of like a surprise stream. I'll grant you that. Uh, but welcome anyway. And this is like 2 days after we launched my brand new book, Shadow's First Christmas. If you haven't already, go check it out in the link in the description. It's bit.ly/Shadows First Christmas. It is available now on Amazon and major book retailers worldwide. It's exciting. It is so exciting to have a book out and for you all to start enjoying that book. Hi everyone, joining us now. It's 8:15 in the morning here in eastern coast of the United States, but we're doing a stream anyway. I want to quickly point out the fact that super chats are available this morning for this entire stream by hitting the $ in the comments, and you can help the channel grow and support what we do here with LGBTQ education worldwide on a weekly basis. I will say it was a lot better reception than I thought the book would have. I'll tell you the numbers here. I mean, just initially coming back, we had 123 clicks the first day the book came out. We had 30 some schools trying to get the giveaway for the signed copy. That's this book right here. We're gonna sign this and give it away to one lucky school in the United States because of giveaway laws here in the United States. We're only allowed to accept schools from the United States. But, hey, it's going to be really cool for the giveaway to have as good of reception as we've had on this book so far. It's been super exciting for me. So while we're in the chat, I mean, there's not many of you so far, but if you guys haven't had any English, Matt, too early in the morning for me. If you have any questions about the book or about the show or about anything going on, do leave those in the comments down below or in the live chat right now, and I'll answer them live as we go through. But what was the bookshelf? Yeah. So Amazon doesn't really tell us how many are sold yet. It just tells us how many people are going to the website, which is kind of crappy at the moment because we don't know exactly how many are sold. We do know that, hey, a lot of people are going there, but it doesn't tell us exactly how many are sold until they actually ship out, which might take a day or two. Yeah, it's been super crazy. When I do a live stream in the early morning, I should have expected only 10 people to be here. But welcome. It's super early. Well, I mean, we are getting reports back that the book is starting to sell out. So since it's early, you want some coffee. I would love some chocolate milk. I don't drink coffee. So surprisingly, it's weird. I don't drink coffee at all. I'm not a coffee man, but I am a tea man, which apparently makes me gay. Nobody knows that part. But you're welcome to have coffee in the chat. Let's see. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't even tell you. So you know how we do our episodes normally on Friday nights, Friday mornings. So this week we have an episode coming out of 15 great gift ideas for LGBTQ loved ones or yourself or friends that are LGBTQ. 15 great ideas and for holiday gifts this holiday season, so you can get great and perfect gifts for all of your loved ones. Crimson Diamond says, I can't stay for too long, but I want to wish you luck. You are doing a great thing. Keep it up. Oh, thank you so much. Snoozy Oreo says, I want some chocolate milk. Oh my God, yes, I know. Right? So good. So good. Thanks for hanging with us. Yeah, I mean, and so beyond the number of units sold, oh, thank you, Klaus Benson says congratulations with the book. Oh, thank you. It's still surreal to me. Like, it is still like in the back of my head. Like, did we just do this? you know. But it's still like, oh crap! Like this is actually a thing that happened now. And I never thought it would actually happen. I never thought it would, get to this point where we're able to do something like this. Because I've released books before. It's just never a children's book, never one to help the LGBTQ community. So I thought, maybe this isn't going to go over well, but oh my God, it did. Because I'll tell you, the first day that this came out, we ended up getting so many of our friends that, so we don't have the official numbers yet, but so many of the friends and so many of the fans have been commenting away, telling us, that they've already bought their copies online. So I know it's going to take a couple days for Amazon to officially report everything, but it's seeming like it's going really well so far. And it's one of those moments where I never thought in starting this channel that we would get to this point, let alone have 20,000 subscribers and, doing all the craziness things that we're doing now. But, to have a book and to know that it's going to be on the shelves of, libraries across America, and it feels great. And a lot of my friends are being very, very supportive and sending tons of love, tons of comments, sharing the heck out of the book this weekend. And that was kind of surreal to start seeing those activists that I admire so much in my life, sharing something of my work and going, congratulations, Matt. That was so heartwarming to me. I know my team and I work on this show all the time, and we have scripts coming in from our writers already, because we added writers this year, which is so cool. But we have those scripts coming back for season 4 already, which starts in February, and which we're calling our semester 4, because it's like a school here. We have tons planned for that. We have something cool planned with the set for that. We have tons and tons and tons planned for season 4 and semester 4 of the show. But the writers are already coming back with their scripts for that, and I'm just blown away already. We have sorry, comments are a thing. Keep forgetting about that. Your local baboy says, I may not be able to get it myself, but my teacher said she'll probably get it. That's awesome. And when your teacher gets it, make sure it's in the school library and stuff like that, and that way you can read it just as well as every one of your classmates. ZC Isla says, this is so cool, Matt. Also, hey, hi. Welcome to the stream, and welcome to, welcome to PPR again. We've probably been here for a while, on the channel, but hi everyone that's coming in. So the scripts are already coming back for season 4, and they sound so amazing that I give credit to Marissa and Chris and everybody that's on our writing staff, and they're just blowing me away with scripts already. So major kudos to them, and you'll be seeing all of their writing starting in February. But then there's other things we have planned for the end of this year. Like next week we have the 15 Christmas gifts you can get your loved ones that are LGBTQ, or your LGBTQ or your friends and family can get you as an LGBTQ person. We have those coming out. We have the following week we'll have another great episode that I don't want to necessarily talk about yet. Isla is pronounced Illa. Oh, I'm sorry. Pronunciation is not my thing at 8 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, but so basically, what we're planning there, we have hopefully an interview if it works out with someone. I don't want to give away too much because we haven't got a confirmation from that yet. If not, we do have something else planned for its place, which is 10 great Christmas gifts you can get your homophobic and transphobic family members that will certainly piss them off. Including Shadows vs. Christmas, because it supports charity. And it's like we have after that. YouTube is sending us a Christmas gift, so me as someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas, I'm sorry. I had to pick a holiday for the book, okay? And Christmas is the most popular. Rather than saying like Shadow's first holiday, and it's like, but there's a lot of holidays. Anyway, so we have. I'm planning on producing the 10 Christmas gifts you can, or holiday gifts you can give your homophobic and transphobic family members. Planning on producing that anyway, but we may run out of time because there's a lot to do before the end of the year, including like YouTube sending us a Christmas gift that is coming in, and I have no idea what it is. I just know that it's going to be a big one because they told us the size of the package that they're sending, but they haven't told us anything else. They're sending to all of their big partners, in which we're one of them. So that's crazy. So that video is coming out Christmas week, I think, if they send it to us in time. They're doing we're doing another video that week on I think it's on Christmas. I have to check. Hold on. Let me check my schedule because it's all in the schedule. It's just, my God, it's a lot this week to worry about. Also, there's like a conference this Wednesday that I'm invited to be a speaker for. So that's happening right in the middle of all of this. And oh yeah, season 3 bloopers come out on Christmas Day this year. So you'll see a lot of bloopers. Not all of the bloopers. Some of them are pretty bad, but you'll see a lot of bloopers from season 3 on Christmas Day. And then I want to produce 2 videos for like the final week of the year there, just because it'd be really, really cool. I know the one that we're definitely producing is called Dear Future Me, and it's modeled after like, how YouTube has like the YouTube Rewind. It's like a summary of the most popular videos of the whole year, but we want to do like a Rainbow Rewind and officially do that this year, which is pretty darn cool. I'm going to get caught up in the comments here in just a second. But with that, it's sort of like a letter to my future self that you are all invited to watch along with me, of like recapping the best moments on the channel here, recapping some of the most powerful moments this year that have shaped not only the channel but my life as well, and shaped what I want to do for the rest of my life in helping the community. So definitely a video you want to check out, but that's probably coming the final week of the year here, and then we are off for and it's literally a letter to my future self that it's recapping all the moments that I know this year kind of sucked, and it kind of on the surface it looks really bad because so many of my friends and even myself, we all lost our jobs this year. I lost my job this year, and it sucked for a long time, losing out on tens of thousands of dollars, and it looked bleak. And then I had friends who've died from the coronavirus, and you have to go through all of this while some people are out there calling this all a hoax, And it's like, it's not a hoax, it's real. My friends died, And next year, I consider myself extremely lucky to be one of the ones that survived this, and my company survived this, which some of my other friends, their companies are forever out of business, and there's nothing we can do about that. So it's horrible to look at this year, but also there were so many triumphs this year that I think to look back at this year, 10, 20 years from now, to look back at 2020 and to think, well, this year was just the coronavirus and it was just a bunch of people dying, or it was just a bunch of businesses that were closed. It's not doing this year justice, truly. Because this year is a whole lot more than that. And there were so many accomplishments, so many immensely important life lessons that I've learned, and so many people helped this year, through not just this channel, but through the community, that I feel like to talk about this year 20 years from now as just the coronavirus or just Donald Trump or whatever, it's not doing this year justice. And so I feel like we kind of have to end this year with a letter to myself. We have to end this year with a message of hope to say, this whole year wasn't bad. Look at all the good parts, and recognize that you're so incredibly lucky to be here, be at this stage of the platform, and you're so incredibly lucky to have everything you have. And I need a video 20 years from now to look back at and say, take for granted every moment you have, because those are all moments some of your friends won't ever have. So that's really going to be a powerful one. It's super, super difficult to write that letter to myself, and that letter to read during the actual broadcast. It's really difficult to write that, but I want to put it out, so that's what we're doing. But I will tell you, my Christmas wish list has a couple things that will help PBR. So my family is really going to be helping with covering some expenses for next year, so that's really nice to hear. Catching back up on comments here, Snoozy Oreo says, I'm going to get my teacher, who just happens to be the leader of our GSA club, to get the book. Awesome. That works out great, because if you're the head of a GSA club, you should definitely benefit from this book. We're actually trying to get the GSA started over here. Your local, I cannot pronounce things today, so I'm going to go with it and just say your local bad boy. Definitely check out our episode 43 tips to starting a GSA club in your school with resources. We provided resources this year. We started a website so we can do that, and not just make videos, but actually give you the tools. I probably, you already checked that video out though. ZC says, it's cool. A book made by you is a book made by you. And it is awesome. Oh, thank you. The Magnificent Blueberry Sand says, are the gifts gonna be pride flags? That would be awesome. The gifts, which ones? The ones for your homophobic family members? No, the gifts that are in this week's episode. You'll see it in a couple days, but they're the gifts that we tell other people to get LGBTQ people. That's this week's video. That's gonna be all gifts that are rainbow this, rainbow that. Shadow's First Christmas. You'll get a bunch of things like educational books, recommendations. You'll get recommendations of, gender affirming clothing and haircuts and binders and a lot of really cool stuff that we put on the list this year. Because we did a video 2 years ago on 10 great Christmas gifts you can get your loved ones if they're LGBTQ. We did that episode 2 years ago. And then we sort of realized, wow, there are so many more great gifts now. And a lot of those gifts help support charity as well. So you'll be hearing all about that. But the one that's like stuff to get your homophobic family members, that is an episode all basically about things you can get your loved ones, like a reoccurring donation to the Trevor Project, or to GLAAD, or to Glesson, all these LGBTQ charities that are like, hi grandma, thanks for being homophobic. The the Trevor Project thanks you for your donation, because all these groups allow you to donate in someone else's name, and so you can like get your grandpa or your grandma, some like homophobic person in your life, just put the donation in their name and be like, Merry Christmas, Grandpa, the Trevor Project thanks you. And like all things sort of like that. So it's gonna be really cool, plus a couple more things on that list. ZC said, the look on their faces, yeah. ZC says, Matt, you're gonna be mega famous. I'm not in this for the fame. I'm in this to help people. And luckily we're helping a lot of people. This is a classroom. A teacher's not supposed to be famous. A teacher's supposed to help. I had a comment come in earlier, yesterday, was it? And they're like, I'm young, I'm sorry, I don't know any of this, and I know this is going to sound like a dumb question, but, can lesbians get STDs during intercourse? And I'm like, that's not a dumb question at all. Like, I'm more than happy to provide a resource and to help you answer that question. Don't ever think you're dumb by asking a question. I'm a teacher first and foremost. And that's what we do here. And so we help them. But don't ever think you're dumb by asking a question. Milky says, I want to come out to my family, but I have anxiety. What do I do? Well, if you tested the waters, let me ask you this: have you tested the waters, and have you found out if your family is going to accept? Like if your family is, as long as you're safe, and your family you think is going to accept it, then you're pretty good to come out. But you have anxiety. I wrote a letter, and ZC is right about that. It is easier to write a letter than to actually say the words in person. I said it in a letter. It took me, 6 entire rewrites of that letter to get it the way I wanted to say it. And I ended up having this like 8-page long thing that people, my dad, my sister, and my brother-in-law all had to read. And yeah, and I asked them to. It was on Christmas Day. I asked them to read it out loud while my cameras rolled all around them. So like on Christmas Day, I had this whole like Amazing Race Minersville thing set up, because my dad loves Amazing Race TV show. And so I set this all up around town, and I made them go look for clues. And then when they got back to the office, they went into the TV studio, which I had set up for the day as an Amazing Race like endpoint, and in that endpoint, I had a Christmas gift from my dad of an Amazing Race t-shirt, but also I had one more clue for them. And that clue was my coming out letter. It was 8 pages long. It took me 6 rewrites. And during that moment, all of a sudden I said to them, before you open this letter up, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to walk away for a couple minutes. I want you to read it out loud, because all my cameras were still rolling on them, because I wanted that footage, of them reading it. I tested the waters. I knew that they were very accepting of other people in my life that were gay. I knew they were accepting of other people in our family that are gay, but I still had that anxiety leading up to my coming out. It was the scariest moment of my whole life, and no doubt the scariest moment, because for about from Thanksgiving to Christmas is when I was like, Thanksgiving, I knew I had to come out. I knew I had to, and I knew exactly what day I needed to come out was Christmas. But from Thanksgiving onward, I'm there writing this letter, and I'm driving myself insane, you know? Um, so I spent up all night writing this letter over and over and over and over again, and bawling my eyes out, wondering if they were going to accept me. And then every time I went to sleep, almost every night from that whole month, I would wake up with horrible night sweats. I would wake up from these terrible nightmares that I was running out of my house, running down the street as fast as I could, and I looked behind me, and there was always this giant, dark, black cloud just chasing me away from my hometown, and I couldn't stop running because if it caught me, it would kill me, you know? I that was my reoccurring nightmare over and over and over and over again. And so that's why I had them read this letter while I was out of the room. And I had my cameras program. I'm very lucky in a way that I had all of this technology, behind me. So basically, I had a camera rigged up to film them in my TV studio, but it was sending a live video feed to my phone at the time. And I was actually by my back door watching this live video feed of them reading the letter. And I knew if it went wrong, I would know. I do like jazz. I would know, and I would be able to run away before they could see me, So I'm very lucky in a way that I had all this technology and these skills behind me, and I had a TV studio, so if I had a camera placed somewhere, they really wouldn't know it was there, because it's just normal for me to have cameras out in my studio. And I set it up that day as a fake TV show, so me having cameras around really wasn't that big of a deal, but luckily they accepted me, and they read through it, and they started to afterwards they're like, we always knew, and so they immediately accepted me, and I'm very, very lucky for that. But I still had that anxiety leading up to it, even though I knew with 99.9% certainty they were going to accept me. I had an escape plan. I had all this technology behind me to have that escape plan. I planned it out for weeks. I rewrote this letter 6 times, all of it still didn't allow me to get rid of that anxiety, and you're never going to get rid of that anxiety wholeheartedly. All you can do is test the waters and make sure you're safe. Those are the two most important things. Or buy a mug that says, "I'm gay, sucker." Yeah, or just buy a baby R mug that's like, "I'm gay." It worked so hard. It didn't deserve. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Don't cry. Can we make this happy now? Yes. Yeah, that inspired me to ask my teacher about it. Okay. Yeah. So story time's over. What's up with the jazz thing? I don't understand the shit. Comments, you like jazz. Sees sees question, stops story, and answers the question. I thought it was a genuine question. I'm like, do you like jazz? I'm like, yeah, I enjoy jazz. The only things I don't enjoy are rap and very heavy Christian church music. But I was literally just working in a church all last week. Here, I'll show you. So there's this church near me. Well, there's a lot of churches near me that want this right now. But we just got done setting it all up. Where the hell is it at, man? Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is a church near me that we just got done setting up a whole live video system in their church, which is the whole table there, with like big expensive cameras that are robotic that move on their own. So we just got done doing that this week, and all week long I'm there setting it up. I'm there, installing it all. And it was weird because they were playing church music on the organ, and I'm like, this is so weird. Like, the funny part for me was when they weren't playing the organ, the rest of the day I was playing like Troye Sivan and Taylor Swift music. So you just like went from hearing Troye Sivan Bloom song all about bottoming to all of a sudden having the pastor of the church come in and like play the organ for a little bit of like, oh, like you're just like, oh my god, this is so weird, of a turn to make between a very very gay song to oh holy night. It was really funny. While they have a concert in a church. I mean, they do have concerts in churches. Like a church that I used to work for, and I know it sounds weird to say that, but I'm an audio engineer, and I go where the money is. Sometimes in business you have to do that. But they were hiring me to do their sound system, and so I go there for a couple weeks, and it was really funny because I'm so used to like the church atmosphere where you're like, oh, this is all a mass, it's all very formal. And then this one church I was working for is like, we're just gonna screw the whole system and we're just gonna have a concert for an hour. And it was such a fun vibe to be in. And I realized that's why they need an upgraded audio system, because they have like all of these actual like musicians that they have a whole church band that like rocks out on stage, and they wanted all this lighting equipment. They wanted all this, mega sound system and video system installed. And I'm like, that's a lot of work. But I thought they were joking at first. I'm like, you actually have a band and you do it as a concert? This is weird. But then it turns out really well. And their system looks and sounds amazing now, thanks to, my talents. But I wish they had a Troye Sivan concert in the church, though. That'd be awesome. They have concerts in church. You were just joking, but it's a real thing. Certain churches do. Roman Catholic churches don't. Oh my god, if you're ever working for a Roman Catholic church or something, it's so boring. Oh my god. But we love working for them because they have money. No, it's funny, but it's really funny when like all these churches are hiring me right now for their systems, because basically this year the way it's went was back in April, all these places are like, hey, so Matt, do you think we can get a quote on like a video system to be installed in our church, because we can't really have mass anymore, we can't have church service, so you mind coming in and giving us a quote? And I'm like, hey, so maybe I should have thought about putting a video system in years ago. That way you can attract the younger audience. And that way all of your church members aren't dying of old age. And you're wondering, where's all of our people going? They're all dying. So, because you're not bringing in enough younger members to replace them. And you're wondering, what's happening here? Because you're doing Sunday service only. Like, that's why. Oh my god. So they're like, we want a system installed in like April, and then around May they were like, this is all gonna be over in a month anyway, who cares? And then like, it wasn't over in a month. And so now they're all coming back and they're like, so yeah, we'd like that installed, and we want it installed for Christmas. And I'm just like, yeah, well, the problem is there's 20 of you who all want it installed by Christmas. And the problem is all these manufacturers that make this equipment are overwhelmed right now because so many people were like you and they all ordered at once. And so now everything's delayed by months, and no one's happy. I'm like, hey, that's what happens when you you're lazy, and you don't give me money earlier. um, but it's really funny because every church that has brought me in the past like month and a half or something, I've been working on these nonstop. I walk into them and I'm there installing everything, but I'm wearing a rainbow face mask, and all of these pastors know that I'm a gay activist, and it's just super funny because I'm taking days off from these installs and being like, hey, so I can't work today. Be- hey, so like, I'm taking off tomorrow from coming in to, do the next step of your install because I have this YouTube channel that does gay activism that I need to do, and it's really super, super funny. And like for the past little bit here, I've been like, hey, so I have this like gay book coming out and I can't work today because I have to work on the announcement video, or I have to build the set for the announcement video. And it's been super funny to just be like, yeah, so like I'm hella gay and I'm working for you. And it's really cool because I mean there's one church that's very LGBTQ accepting, and so they're like, yeah, we don't care, and we know that it's not in the Bible anywhere that says it's a sin, so you're perfectly allowed to wear um, Lucas Gaming. I don't know why this came up on my recommended section, because we are LGBTQ friendly here, and we are very, very friendly people. And if it's on your recommended, then you must be wanting a book called Shadows First Christmas. Yeah, well, it's a very interesting YouTube name. Thank you for that. Came up with it because we are powered by rainbows here. We're powered by the community, and the community really, really helps us get through a lot of things, and it helped me in the coming out process. So I feel like, it gives people strength, and it gives people the empowerment to be themselves, no matter who that is and no matter who we love. It gives us that power, except for the pedophiles. We don't like them. But, it gives us the power to be our authentic self and our authentic gender. And it gives us the power to love who we love, because love is love, and it will always triumph over hate. So that's sort of why we named it Powered by Rainbows. Although, and you're going to see in the bloopers in a couple weeks, I definitely mess up the name Powered, because in the very beginning of every episode, I'm like, powered and protected by rainbows, and I'm highly regretting that now, and I'm definitely rethinking that for season 4, because it's that was a really great speech. I'm going to sub now. Oh, thank you. Awesome. Welcome our new member. So, I mean, well, there's this joke in the gay community that if we turn someone that, if you come out of the closet, then you get a free toaster, and it's completely just a joke, because it's all about, we like to make fun of homophobes here, the haters, and be like, they always say that we have a gay agenda on us because we want to, like, turn the freaking frogs gay or whatever, by Alex Jones. So there's like this whole thing where like, hey, so you get a free toaster if you come out, or you get rewards if you turn people gay. It's not a real thing, but it's funny. If you got an award for turning people gay, imagine how filled this room would be with awards at this point. I'm just saying, if the gay agenda was real, wouldn't I know about it by now? Out of all the people that they would tell, wouldn't they tell the LGBTQ creator and educator? Throws a toaster at him. Nice. You guys are so sweet. That's what I love about you guys. And gals and NBs. Sorry. But no, in the very beginning of every episode, I'm like, powered and protected by rainbows, right? And you have no idea the number of times I've messed up saying that in the very beginning of like every recording, and I'm just doing it like 50 times just to get it right once. And so I'm like, you know, next year for season 4, I really have to change it to just powered by rainbows. That's why, because it all, what really trips me up is the protected, because it's like so many P's in sequence there. It's like powered and protected by rainbows. It's super hard to say when you're trying to say it really fast in the beginning of an episode, because you want to get to the main content of the episode so people don't click off. And so I'm always like, oh crap, I said it wrong, and again, and now I have to do it. So you're gonna see in the bloopers episode on Christmas Day of just like me just doing powered and protected by rainbows over and over and over and over and over again, just messing it up like 100 times. It's really it's the saddest thing, because I can't even say the name of the show. Or apparent. So our one of our team members of the show here, Michaela, she points out to me the other day. She's like, so I've like when I watch episodes, I constantly notice how when you say LGBTQ, you sometimes say it so fast that you run the letters together and it sounds like a word that no one knows because there's no vowels in it. And I'm like, I'm sorry. So apparently there's a compilation coming out of that by one of our team members of just me messing up saying LGBTQ. But yeah, toaster yummy. Wait, what are you gonna eat? The toaster? Don't eat the toaster. Eat the toast that comes out of. Wait, here's a good one. What do you put in a toaster? Can anyone answer that for me? What do you put in a toaster? Your local says, I love all the gay and theys and it's. Awesome. Recently I spin. Okay, I don't know. Brett, oh darn it. Darn. Y'all are smart. Okay, because Stephen Colbert asked President Barack Obama that question in an interview with this week. And what do you put in a toaster? And President Obama said, toast, you know? And Stephen Colbert is like, no, you put bread in the toaster. What comes out is toast. And I'm like, and so it trips up a lot of people. The homophobes we yes. Yes. The homophobes we gonna burn. So welcome to the channel, Lucas Gaming, but we have a thing on our channel where we have a Minecraft server apparently that's bagels. Bagels is good too. Bagels are good. Sorry, English. Hello, confusion. Yeah, so apparently a couple of our fans created a Minecraft server, and they made Burn the Homophobes Mountain that's surrounded by a fence that you can go and just watch the homophobes burn for hours, and you're not allowed to save the homophobes. It's the funniest thing. As you can tell, we love we're answering questions about the book Shadow's First Christmas, and we're just chatting about it a little bit, and we're just chilling for a little bit because I had off today, so I'm like, hey, let's chat. Is asexual a real thing? Yes. So there's attraction to men, attraction to women, attraction to non-binary folk, and asexual is, I believe, if I'm getting it right, and I know my fans are going to kill me if I get it wrong, so I'm really quickly like double checking. Yeah, okay. I was right. Asexual is the lack of sexual attraction to others, or low or absent interest in or desire for sexual activity. It may be considered a sexual orientation or lack thereof. It is also characterized more widely to include a broad spectrum of asexual sub-identities. So there you go. It is a real thing, though. But like, so like you can understand there's 8 spectrums of humanity, and you can be anywhere on those 8 at the same time, and those can change over time too. So there's one on gender. There's one spectrum of gender, which goes between male, female, and non-binary, and agender, which is in the center, which means an absence of gender. And then there's 7 spectrums of sexuality, which are, physical attraction, emotional attraction, help me out here. Emotional attraction, sensual attraction. There's 7 spectrums of those, and again, you can be anywhere on those at the same time, and be attracted to whoever. So you can be any gender and attracted to any gender in many different ways. So just because you're sexually attracted to, like for me, I'm hella gay, so I'm sexually attracted to men, and I identify as a man myself, but like emotionally, I have really great friends who I connect with, and so I consider myself to be somewhere between being emotionally attracted to men aesthetically. There's 7 of these, and I consider myself to be somewhere between male and female and non-binary on that, because I can be attracted to anyone aesthetically, or and be friends with anyone, whereas sexually, when it comes to romantically loving someone, romantically is another one of those 7, but romantically, and thank you, hold on, I'll get them. It's just easier. It's just easier if I look it up, because it's so easy. I should remember these, because we put them in so many videos now. And I've said it so many times that I'm actually like depressed in myself that I don't remember this. Okay, here we go. I'll switch screens here so you can see it. But we put it in another episode, Science of Being Transgender. It's in a lot of episodes at this point. But these are the 8 spectrums of humanity. So your gender identity can be male, female, non-binary, or agender. And if you're a trans female, you're still just as valid as a cisgender female. If you're male, trans male, you're just as valid as cisgender male like myself. You can be physically attracted, sexually attracted, mentally, sensually, aesthetically, romantically, and emotionally. So for me personally, I identify as a male, gender-wise. I'm physically attracted to males. I'm sexually attracted to males. I'm mentally just all of the above, because mentally I have a lot of friends that are, non-binary, female and male. Sensually, male, I'm attracted to. Aesthetically, I'm attracted to all, because, again, my love for friendships and for family goes beyond gender. Romantically, again, male. And emotionally, I would consider all again, So you can be anywhere on those spectrums, and those spectrums can change over time. So even if you come out as gay or trans, or even if you come out as like bisexual or gay, it's like you can always change. And also you can change over time for your gender, which means you are gender fluid. You can change over time who you're attracted to sexually, which means you are there's a word for it. What is it called? It's not gender fluid, it's something else. Glad we can teach you something today, Lucas. And we're glad that you're here. I'm glad you stumbled on this. Polyromantic, yeah. As another. I mean, literally. Okay, so in our community, uh, in our community, there are 95 pride flags that you can learn. There's hundreds of combination abrosexual. Thank you. Um, there's like 100 and some combinations of handkerchief codes. There's there's so much to learn, and there's like 200 and some odd holidays for our community that you have to that I have to know as an educator because we plan episodes around it. So like next year we have there's asexual week. We're doing an episode about asexuality. Really people think this show is very, very difficult to plan all these episodes, and then we're like, so you guys in the comments will suggest a topic to us, and we're like, oh, that's a great topic suggestion. There's a holiday coming up next year that would be perfect for that, so let's plan that episode for that day, and before we know it, we have so many holidays that it's like the schedule for our show of Charlie Walbridge says, I think there's 70 I think there's 72 genders. There's actually millions of combinations of genders, but I think you're referring to the main ones. But yeah, there's definitely millions of genders. Because keep in mind that spectrum that I showed you earlier, you can be anywhere on that at any time at all. And, that spectrum is as wide as humanity is. So, what if I don't have enough money to transition to start testosterone when I turn 16? Then what country do you live in? King Ross Owo? Oh, sorry. I always read it wrong, and I'm like, King Ross Uwu. What country do you live in? Then at one point every day I will be gay. Will be a gay day. Yes. By the way, we end all of our episodes with, thanks for watching. I'm Matt Haslam, aka Professor Pride. Have a gay day, everyone, and good night. Or bye for now. Magnificent Blueberry Sand says, start a fundraiser. We already did start a fundraiser last week. Or no, this week. This weekend we started a fundraiser. But by the way, if you purchase the book now, first up, I should say for all the people that are joining us now, Amazon is warning us that they only have so many left. So go get yours now to ensure that you'll definitely have one, because it's doing a little bit better than we thought. I didn't think we would sell one copy, okay, to be fair, okay? Y'all are very, very nice people. And 100% of the proceeds from it go to helping LGBTQ causes, two LGBTQ causes, for right now until December 24th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A portion of the proceeds will be going to the Help the Trevor Project, LGBTQ Crisis Intervention and Suicide Prevention Hotline. They are the country's leading crisis intervention hotline, and they do work around the world. They're a fantastic organization that we have a magnificent partnership with. So definitely it's a worthy cause that we're donating to, and I really want to write them a giant check at the end of the month here. But then all other proceeds right now, and all other proceeds until the end of time for the book, because the book will be available after Christmas. I have had that question a couple times now. All other proceeds until the end of time will be going to helping our show make weekly LGBTQ educational content. This year alone, we're putting out 150 episodes of this show, and that's a lot of content to make. So yeah, next year we're imploring the use of staff writers to help make the scripts for the show. We're imploring about a dozen people to help research for the show. So it's a very hard job to do this, and it's not just me anymore. So it's time we start, really. And plus, we're building a new set for next year's season. That's not going to be cheap, but it's all stuff we really, really want to do to improve the quality of the show and the accuracy of the show, which is always important to us. So all of that is coming, but this book definitely does help with that, as well as the fact that if you are a school district in America and you want a signed copy of the book, you can enter for a chance to win our giveaway right now. And that giveaway goes off December when? Oh, you only have 4 days to enter that giveaway. So if you want to be part of the giveaway, make sure you tell your teachers, some employee of the school. An employee of the school has to be the one to actually submit the entry form for the giveaway. But if you want a copy of that, definitely do enter for a chance to win that right now. Because you only have 4 days to enter that contest before it goes off. And December 11th, this will be mailed to someone with a personalized note inside, signed by me. Also, I've had the question of, if you want a signed copy of the book, we're coming out with a way to do that. It's taking a little bit longer than we like to do, but I never expected to sell one copy, let alone have people that want to buy it with my signature. So we're working on a way so you can get a signed copy for a different price, because it is going to cost us a little bit more to have a certain number of these in stock, and to have, because right now Amazon is doing everything for us, or Barnes & Noble, or all these other retailers are doing the work for us. Whereas if you want a signed copy, we'll actually have to be the ones to mail it out to you. So that means we need them in stock, and we need to actually have a couple signed. So that's going to be a little bit higher of a price, but I've heard some people want that now, which is really cool to see. So we'll definitely be trying to implore that really soon, as soon as we possibly can. Hi, Matt. There's a group called Outreach Youth, and I'm a part of it, and I would love to have you on. We have Zoom calls on Thursdays. Okay, hold on. At Pride. I'm leaving my email address, info@prideclassroom.com, in the chat here. Definitely have one of your leaders of the group reach out to me on there. I'll be emailing you back from my company my company email address, matthaslamproductions@yahoo.com. So definitely be checking your email and your spam folder for that reply. But I'm definitely willing to do that. It's just, you got to get in contact with me with official stuff in order to do that. But I'm more than happy to do a virtual book tour thing, or talk with you, whatever. Answer questions, whatever your students have. So definitely email me and I'll be in contact. Let's talk about, how long did Justin Denny ask, how long did it take to write this book? It took about a month to write the book, and then another 2-3 months to illustrate it, because, by the way, it's an illustrated book too. There's hold on, let me find one of the pages that you have a lot of illustration on. A ton of work went into it. Here's one of the illustrated main pages. That is on every page, and we had to I had to do that because I was well, see, the problem was I couldn't bring another illustrator in for it, because we didn't know if we were going to sell enough, and we didn't want anyone to know this that didn't have to know about it beforehand. And so I'm I cannot say a single word about this project, and so I can't even talk to my artist friends and be hey, can you help me and do one page of the book? I couldn't even do that. So now that the first book of the series is out, for the next part of it, I'm definitely thinking about different people to do that and help with it. But it took a long time. The book itself, it took so long because it was so detailed. Um, it was so detailed in the fact that, like, in the book, you have these characters, Alex and Troy, as the gay couple, and I wanted it so personal because Alex was the name of the boy I had my first ever crush on back when I was 11 years old. He, the name is also my pen name as a writer. The name is, so ingrained in me. I wanted to pay honor to that. And Alex in the actual book, beyond what you heard in the announcement video, which was only about a quarter of the book itself, beyond that, basically Alex tells his coming out story to Shadow, the puppy, to calm him down because Shadow's really terrified of strangers and stuff because he was a stray puppy for so long. And so you have Alex telling his coming out story to Shadow and saying it's okay to it's okay to fear people, but I promise you're safe here, because I'm safe here, and it's all about that. So I wanted that coming out story in there, but it's also my coming out story as well. Then Troy is also named after Troye Sivan, whose music definitely inspired me and empowered me to come out of the closet myself. So Troy is very influential throughout the story. You have, this perfect family dynamic that really goes back to my family dynamic, of my dad, my sister, and I, all gathered around for Christmas. You have Shadow, which for this first, like, the 6 months before I came out, I really did feel like I was living in the shadows of my own life, and I wasn't able to show people half of who I was, which is why before I came out, I put out a final album for my music, and it was called Shadows, because I was showing people that I was hiding half of who I was. And then 6 months later, I released on what was it? On the Marriage Equality Day here in the United States, which is June 26th, I released an album called Pride, which was my coming out to everyone else. And it's like, I thought, maybe once I put that Pride album out, I wouldn't be accepted by anyone. And so my final album that I wanted everyone to hear was an album called Shadows, but it was all about, all these people that I had crushes on, but in the whole, however many songs were on it, I never mentioned anyone's gender of who I was in love with. And so it was hiding parts of who I was loving still. And really, it was paying honor to that last album, and it was paying honor to everything in my life. That's what this book is, hidden in the storyline. And also hidden in the storyline is, like, a whole lesson on, the Stonewall riots and what happened in New York City. Like, really hidden in this book is a lot of things. And in order to hide all those things in seamlessly, as well as trying to word in how, this is a perfectly normal gay couple. They're not harming anyone, and without, like, because it's a children's book, I don't want to get into, like, oh, well, Alex and Troy are, doing each other on the bed. Like, I can't talk in the adult way that I'm sort of used to. And so I'm like, I don't want to do that, because then I'll be accused by the community of, like, pushing this, like, sex agenda or whatever. And I don't want homophobes to be able to come back and say that. So I'm like, it's a children's book. Let's make it a children's book. Let's not include any homophobes, because we don't want to bash any homophobes in here. This is just about how normal it is to be LGBTQ. And so it took so long to, like, just write this perfectly and sending it to, like, a couple of my very close friends that I knew I could trust. So it was very much, a very long process to write it. But once I wrote it, I was, like, now creating the illustrations, even though it took 2 months. It was a lot easier once you have, like, here's what the story is going to be. Now I just got to follow it with pictures, Let's talk about, like, every animal is gay. Penguins are gay. Horses are gay. There's dogs that are gay. There's puppies that are gay. Also, another thing hidden in the book that people have, like picked up on the fact is that I would consider my like perfect persona to be what Shadow is. So that's the thing. Gee, this whole book is about a Labrador Retriever that is also gay in the book, as well as Alex and Troy being gay. Um, Gee, it's not planned at all that the puppy is gay and is a perfect persona of my persona uh, in being a pup tribe member. Gee, that's not planned at all. Like that, the amount of planning that went into this book is what took so long. Really, if I was writing a book, if I was writing or if I was illustrating a book like normal, I'd be like, all right, just a couple days, put it out the door, you know? Like this, there was so much detail and so much like personalization that it took so much longer, but it's well worth it because as you're gonna read in it, when it arrives this holiday, it's like you're just gonna like, and if you've been watching the channel for a little bit, you'll be like, wow, Matt really did make this so personal and so on point. There's so many different key details that are a part of this story that just make it all work flawlessly, you know? So I mean, I've had a couple of my like friends who are critical of my work read it because I didn't want people to just go, yeah, this is great, Matt. You know, I wanted people to actually read through it and go, all right, here are the flaws, you know? And I've listened to those people. We've rewritten a whole part of the book because of that before it was released. Actually, I got like a draft copy of the book. And I realized like, oh, and I gave it to somebody. I'm like, oh crap, now I have to change like 5 pages in it, you know? And so it was like, oh, guess I got to get another copy, which isn't really bad. But yeah, let's talk about Confusion says, I want to buy a binder, but I'm broke and below the age my area hires people. More on that this week. Someone said in the comments the other day, make the Yuletide gay, and I'm like, how do you know the script for my episode 15 gifts you can buy LGBTQ people? How do you know that? And then like you're talking about a binder and where you get one. How do you know? There's also okay. But you can make a binder. You can cut the bottom of a T-shirt. You can do things like that. You can also use like ace bandages and stuff like that, the elastic ace bandages. But that's things kids do, but it's not recommended for extended periods of time. If you just want to like sit in your room for like 5 minutes or something like that, just to feel yourself. That sounded wrong. Shit. If you as that was coming out, I knew it was wrong. But I'm like, yeah, no. So what I mean is like, just to feel like you are your authentic gender, just to yourself in the mirror and just in your bedroom or something like that. You can definitely use like an ace bandage for a couple minutes there, but beyond maybe 10 minutes or so, it does start to do damage to your rib cage and stuff. As a child, especially an adult like me, it might not make as much of a difference to a 25, 30-year-old, but it definitely would do damage to someone that's under 18, just because your rib cage isn't meant to do that and have an elastic band around itself. Oh my god, there's a lot. No need. I'll see you next stream. Alex and yes. Y'all picked up on the Alex and Troy doing each other in the bed thing. Nice. I'm glad y'all pick up on things like that. Pandas are gay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say like feeling yourself like that. I was really happy because number one, children can learn about the LGBTQ. Number two, my dog's name is Shadow, so I was kind of giggling. Wow, okay. Number three, the book sounds so wholesome. Well, it is wholesome. I tried to make it really as wholesome as possible. I tried to make it educational, And Shadow is the name of what I want my puppy to be one day. Because I want to own a puppy. I have a life plan of like getting a boyfriend, getting married, and then getting a puppy. Not necessarily in that order. Because maybe we'll get a puppy before we get married. But yeah, I definitely want my puppy to be named Shadow, unless another name really strikes us as a couple. But I want it to be like a couple decision because it's in it, you know. But yeah. But no, I mean, so what trans experts have told me is like, yeah, ace bandages are fine for like 5 or 10 minutes, but beyond that, take them off because it does start to do damage. You want a proper binder. But a proper binder is not a puppy owning a puppy. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so see, I feel like if I dated a squirrel furry, then we would just like chase each other around the house all day long looking for nuts. And I feel like it would go like that's all we would ever do. We would never work. We would never like eat. We'd just like look for. Oh, technically, but oh, it's gone silly. I have a dog named Shadow and a puppy named Coco, and they're adorable. Oh my God, you have both? Okay. Well, see, I have a stuffed animal named Coco, and he's a trans man. Puppy is my character for him, as a stuffed animal. But then I have Dr. Woofers, who's also a male puppy, and so they're in this gay relationship, and there's this whole storyline to that. But that's for another day and another video. But no, it's really cool. You have both a dog named Shadow and Coco, and that's both the names that we used in the series. I was gonna name it Coco's First Christmas because that would have been adorable, but then there's also a book out there called Coco's First Christmas, and I didn't want a copyright thing, so I'm like, well, Shadows is better anyway because he does hide in the story, and Shadow is the name that I want my dog to have one day. You have 2 lesbian cats. Oh, see, that's cute. Okay. But yeah, I mean, so lions are gay. That's true. Well, I mean, so yes, I do consider myself a part of the puppy tribe, but I would definitely own a puppy one day. So it would literally be my boyfriend owning a puppy who owns a puppy. And Lucas came back at a very weird moment there. Oh my God, yes, I have a non-binary hedgehog plushie named Cinnamon. Aw, that's cute. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, in the gay community. So by the way, to be a puppy, you can be a non-binary, you can be trans, you can be a lesbian, you can have whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be a gay person. But in the puppy tribe community, like we're very much like, puppies. So they'd have 2 dogs. Yeah, so technically my boyfriend one day will own 2 dogs. Roseflower says, y'all in the comments, too cute. I can't. Yeah, I know. This is what every single day. Allison's Brewington says, I am donating to the Trevor Project for Christmas. Awesome. It's hard with the graphics because my monitor's over there for the video, and so I'm trying to be like a Vanna White here, and it's so difficult. Why not that way? That way. There you go. Donate to the Trevor Project by buying a copy of the It's so frustrating because like Amazon doesn't tell me the numbers for the book yet. I have to wait until next Friday to like see the initial numbers. That sucks. So I'm like, all these people are saying right now, we can't wait to buy the book, and we're buying the book right now. And I'm like, I want to trust everybody, but I'm like, I'm not seeing any sales yet. So it's driving me mad this week. So I've promised myself that I'm not going to look at the numbers. I'm not going to try to look at the numbers until a couple reports come out. But yeah, donate to the Trevor Project, and then buy a book, which also donates to the Trevor Project. My Yeah, that's what every day when I wake up and I come to the comment section here, I'm just like, oh my god, you guys are too cute, you know? Um, and really, yeah, I talked about my depression on the show before. So like, what brings me out of that depression is like anytime I know I'm in depression, either I do it or one of my friends does it. They're just like they send me a couple comments from this, and they're just like, Matt, do you know how many lives you've saved? And I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now. I want to be depressed. It's hard to be depressed when I read the comments every morning and I'm like, oh my god, I helped you in some way come out of the closet, and I like it's hard to stay depressed when I see all the loving comments that you guys send in. So it's too adorable and that's too good, and that's a really good thing. Um, Plus, now that we have a psychologist working for us, that's kind of nice because it helps with that. Um, oh yeah, that's something else that this book does help finance. So I'm just saying, there's a lot. Like you, the only person so far that you've seen is me, as like a main host of the show. We've had like guests on the show, which all like donate their time to be a part of the show. Um, and then there's something next season coming out, which is a transgender channel that's happening, that we're definitely on board with. Um, but that's going to be a different host, which is really cool. But there's other things that just, which we're not. It's not officially affiliated, but it's like they're starting their channel as a transgender channel, and we're definitely involved in helping make it happen. So it's really cool. And yeah, a lot of people. That's so cool. But I have okay. Well, hold on. Trying to go through them. My homophobic parents think I'm bi when I'm really questioning myself between gay male and trans girl. It's okay to take that time. Take as much time as you need. There's no rush to figuring out your sexuality or your gender. Like I've known people that are very very happy their whole life and they're still questioning their gender or their sexuality at like 90 some years old, and it's perfectly fine. So, no need to rush on it. Don't if your parents are homophobic, probably not safe to come out to them anyway. So, sadly, that's the case. But if your parents are homophobic, we do have an episode called 20 Some Tips to Help You Overcome Homophobic or Transphobic Family Members. We have that episode as well. Also, just keep in mind, no matter what, we're here to support you. We've always been supportive, and any homophobes in our comment section get deleted right away. So they burn on homophobes mountain. We be adorable. Yeah, you do be adorable. Lily Game says, I have the Trevor Project as a non-profit in my TikTok. Oh, that's really good. That's good to see. So like a long time ago, we set up a partnership with Trevor Project because I reached out to them and I said, like, I know you're this massive organization that's never going to respond to me, but I have all these students who want help with coming out advice, and so they immediately responded and they're like, hey, do an interview, do whatever you need. Like, we're here to help you, because they immediately saw the potential of this. And so basically, over the weeks working with them on our coming out advice series on our channel, which is in our playlist tab, but in working with them for so many weeks, they basically agreed with us that, like, we provide the education, they provide the suicide prevention hotline and the psychologist and the counselors to help with this, to help with people who self-harm, who are depressed, who don't know really what to do. Really, they're on that side of it. We're on the education side. And so we send them a lot of kids who need that help in those moments. And so I'm really happy that, not only you're supporting them, but I'm really happy that we get to do this project at the end of the year here, to financially help them out too, because I feel like we need to do something to give back to them for all they've given us this year, because they're such a massive organization that I never thought in a million years they would respond to my email, let alone help us as much as they've done, and help our students as much as they've done. So we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. So I'm really, really excited to hopefully see hopefully see a couple things. Also, we're getting another email now. Someone wants to donate another book so that we can do 2 giveaway books. So hopefully that pans out. That'd be really cool. So we can just like give away 2 books that are signed copies to different schools across America. Okay, so Ren the Direwolf. Ooh, sounds like a furry. Awesome. Ren the Direwolf says, I'm giving my. We have a lot of furries in the chat all the time, and it's awesome because, furries are close to my heart. I just want to date a furry so bad. Sorry. I'm giving my dog pets while watching this, as you should. Do they like the dog on the screen right now? They're like, you're watching a puppy talk about a puppy book, and you're petting a puppy. So congratulations. Allison says, also congrats on the amazing book. Oh, thank you. Super Ace Man says, my book is on its way. Awesome. Congratulations. I can't wait. Well, by the way, when you start receiving the books and stuff like that, you can go to Twitter, go to Facebook, or our Discord server, or wherever. You can use the hashtag Shadows First Christmas on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere, and that way we get to see, especially on Facebook and Twitter, we'll be seeing that, and I'll try my best to, as you're using the hashtag Shadows First Christmas and sharing, I just got the book, I'll try my best to be retweeting and sharing that on our pages, because we want to see the book being out there. We want to see that all. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your support for not only our show, but to the Trevor Project, to everything, and supporting us by just being here. So thank you. And of course, you can hear a funny story. I love funny stories. Crazy Moki says, my mom teaches kindergarten, so I'm going to try to get her to buy this book for her class. That would be awesome. It's made to be like a kindergarten through, 99. As I say on the back, it's ages 3 to 99. So any age. So that would be awesome. Your local says, I feel more like a kitten than a puppy, to be honest. That's awesome too. Kittens are cute and kittens are awesome. Yeah, kittens like cuddling just like puppies do, so I would say it's the same thing. Confusion says, I want to be a psychologist. Oh, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. So, I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted to be as a kid, but I was like, yeah, I want to help people no matter what. Although the other day, oh my God. So, all right, I'll go through the comments really quick and then I'll come back to this story that Becca told me the other day. But Paige says, I mean, now that you're saying this, I have to say you've helped me figure out that I am a demigirl and a romantic. I have to say thank you and keep doing what you do. Awesome. Thank you so much, Paige, for being here, and thank you for sharing that. Really, your comments are what inspire me to keep going and keep making content. So thank you. Lucas Gaming says, my parents are sadly homophobic too. That sucks. Let them burn on Homophobe Mountain. Paige, hasn't he helped us all? I don't mean this as hate. See, that's the thing. I like being here for y'all. And I have a story to tell you. I honestly can't tell. Same here. Had to listen to him yesterday, unfortunately. Oh, parents. I honestly can't tell if my parents are transphobic and homophobic or just confused about the LGBTQ community. Sadly, that happens a lot. So education is vital, and that's why if you notice something on our channel, we really haven't. We do have a couple episodes steered towards adults to help them understand the community better. But as with the book and everything else, it's geared towards the younger audience. So it's like we want to help the younger audience learn this stuff, and eventually the homophobic and transphobic people will die off. And that's our goal. However that happens. For the record, because I know the FBI watches, we don't mean kill them. Just let them burn on Homophobe Mountain in Minecraft for a while. Ali B says, whenever my little sister sees anything rainbow, she's like, it's for pride, which it is. And that's, we own the rainbows, we own all the colors. If you notice, like, what the straight pride flag is just like black and white stripes going across. It's like, oh, how boring. But congratulations, all the LGBTQ people, we took all the colors. So yeah, you can have your little party with black and white, you know? And it's kind of fitting that it's black and white, because it's like back in the day, films used to be made in black and white and they didn't have color like they have now. So you wouldn't be seeing this in color right now if it wasn't for technology advancing. And so it's sort of like this callback to be like, congratulations, homophobes. You're still living back in the 1940s, you know, when film used to be black and white, you know? Like, you haven't really grown up much. And you didn't age with the time well. My boyfriend's parents don't accept that he is trans and told our teachers that he is, and she and they have to use his dead name, so our friend group tries to help him out. That's good that your friends help him out. Teachers are required to use the proper name. They aren't allowed to use the dead name, so that can be reported to your Department of Education. So just shouting it out there, that is a thing. Furries are wholesome little beings. That's true. Head pats and neck scratches. Oh, thank you. I never knew you had a Discord. I'll be right back. I'm gonna join. Yeah, if you if you go to our like literally on, I don't know. I think it's there. I think it's there. Y'all are gonna make fun of me if it's over there, but I think it's right there. The channel name, Powered by Rainbows. If you click on that and you go to the About page on our channel, if you're on a mobile device or if you're on a computer, not a TV, sorry, but if you click on the channel name, go to the About page on our, like, so there's like home, videos, playlist, community tab, merchandise, you know, go buy some merchandise. I do shout out and plug this merch as much as possible. Anyway, there's an About page, and on there, there's on our links. If you scroll down, you're gonna find links to like Pride Academy, Pride Classroom, but also you're gonna find a link to Discord, and you just click on that, and you can join our Discord. And we have a lot of people on there. We have a lot of great things on there. Just as long as you're LGBTQ friendly, you can join that Discord server. The moment you decide to be homophobic or transphobic, you're banned for life. There's one shot and done, no second chances. That's the way we do things. Even here on the channel, because we don't put up with hate. We love in the face of hate. People over 100. What? Oh, the book. That's what you mean. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, typically they're the homophobic people. But, well, I mean, if you're 100 years old, you can read the book too. I mean, well, someone can read it to you, because you're kind of old at that. Anyway, sorry, that was, someone's gonna gift that and be like, Matt's age shaming. I'm like, no, I'm not. Lucas Gaming says, okay, so basically there was this really hot girl, and I didn't know she was questioning if she was bi or lesbian, but anyways, she came out as lesbian and I asked her out. Yeah, sad times for me. Yeah, that would be sad times. I mean, it's sort of like my girlfriend in high school. Like, her and I were going out for about a year, and yeah, we did some things, and later on I came out as gay, and I'm like, yeah, so the entire time I was kissing you, every time. You notice how I close my eyes every time I kiss you? Yeah, that's for a reason, because I was thinking about a guy, you know. And she's like, okay. I mean, we were young back then, and I'm like, okay, cool, you're cool with it. Um, although at that point I already had the TV show here, so she sort of had to say okay to it. Otherwise, she kind of knew that she was gonna be shouted out. Um, Paige says, "I'm glad I can help you keep going." Awesome, thank you. Oh, you guys are quick. Um, when I came out as Demi, to my mom, she just said, "I don't care what you are, we will support you. I just can't remember all the sexualities." That is very true. That's a very fair point. That's a very fair point. I will say, even as the host of this show, I still have to reference the list that we created of the '94 Pride. I still have to reference that all the time. So, as versed as you can be in this, hey, there are times you're gonna have to be like, wait, what does that term mean again? Well, I also, before every Pride event, I try to like look over the list of sexualities and genders, and I try to look over the list of handkerchief codes, especially. I even have it like on my phone during the Pride events, just so I can like see a really cute guy and be like, "Ooh, you're wearing blue. Okay, then I'm attracted to you. Ooh, cool." Or I'll like look at a very very skinny and short guy and see red in their back pocket, and I'm like, "How?" um. Uh, da, da, da. No, the bunny emoticon don't go through like I wanted to. I'm sorry. Um, so you guys are actually the reason that I found out that we're born the way we are. So I appreciate all of you gays and allies. Yeah, it's true. I mean, literally, a lot of people don't know that, and it's like, yeah, it's in our DNA that we're gay, or that we're, that our sexuality is the way it is, and it's in our DNA, in our brain, that our gender is the way it is. So like, my gender of being male, to a lot of people's fascination, is not determined by the fact that I have a penis. It's determined by the fact that I have a brain that says I'm male. Brain scans prove all of this. It's amazing what science can do. All these years, all these homophobic and transphobic people were like, we're going to do all these studies to like find a quote cure for all these mental illnesses that they called mental illnesses, even though it's not a mental illness. And then they're like, nowadays, now there's scientists that are like, um, so no one thought to actually study if it was genetic. Like, no one. Y'all just supposed it was. Like, what scientist was out there going like, but what if all of this research is wrong? What if it's genetic? Has no one thought of that? It's so funny to see that, but so good that we're finally getting that science to back us up now. Your mom and teachers always use your dead name and wrong pronouns. Fuck them. Yeah, you should never do that. And teachers really aren't allowed to do that. As far as we've researched a lot this past year on that. And as much as I'm aware, in America, you're not supposed to do that, legally speaking. Because your dead name is not your legal name, so that's a thing. Well, what do you think of your? What do you think about my funny story, which is actually true? I think it's pretty funny. Um, Want to hear a sad story with a funny ending? Sure. 94. My mom would be like, "That's too many damn flags." What do you? Okay, so here's the funny part of that. We did an episode on like fun with flags, pride flags, and what they all mean, and it was like a 15-minute version, very scaled back. It was not all of the pride flags that exist. And then people were like, "You missed all of these." I'm like, I was also trying to fit it within 15 minutes, dude. You know, like, calm down. Yeah, there was always going to be a part two to it, by the way. There was always planning on having a part two. And everyone's like, "How dare you skip all of these?" Well, like, we skipped a lot for a reason because there was going to be a part two. Um, you just haven't watched the part two yet. And then, like, this part two, it was like 28 minutes long and it included like a lot more. And people are like, "But you're saying bisexual is loving two genders," and I'm like, yeah, because that's literally what it means. And there's also a thing called trigender, which means loving three or more, and then there's pansexual, which is loving four or more. You know, and so technically speaking, bisexual only means two. And that there's so many people debating this in the comment section, and I'm like, come on, guys, like, calm down, listen to what I have to say. I give you all the definitions I can. Okay, I promise. I try. You know. So yeah, there's a lot, and then, but my dad, like, it's the day we hit 1 million views on the channel, uh, my dad immediately goes to me. She's like, "So, yeah, it, it's kind of funny because I told him, I'm like, so, and like half of them, we have 500,000 views on fun with flags and what pride flags all mean, and then the next highest popular video is the part two to that of pride flags and what they all mean. So I'm like, literally 600,000 views of our million and some come from pride flags, and then one of our other more popular episodes, which has like tens of thousands or something. It's a lot. Comes from an episode that has to do all about with the handkerchief code. And so I'm like, between flags and handkerchief codes, that accounts for most of the views on the channel. And then then my dad's like, so that just proves how many people don't know what all these flags mean. And I'm like, yeah, that there's a lot of flags, but um okay, so Alexis says, okay, so I was having a Zoom with my counselor, and she was going to help me come out. That's good. Okay, so my mom was in the room, and I cried, obviously. Then I just said I'm non-binary. How did she take it? I don't see a response to that yet. Anyway, yeah, Free Mom Hugs has the paper that supports LGBTQ rights in schools for LGBTQ students on Instagram. That's right, they do. Free Mom Hugs is like an amazing organization. And like, if you ever go to a pride event, they're just around and they're just giving out free hugs. And it's like, if your parent doesn't support you, we do. You know, it's such a great wholesome organization. Totally recommend them. My parents use my dead name and wrong pronouns because I'm not out yet. Okay, see, that makes a little more sense. But at the same time, I know it can hurt even if you're not out of the closet. It's like, I can't, you sort of have this feeling of like, oh, I can't tell them this part of my life yet because I don't know if it's okay to, and I don't know if they'll accept me, and I don't think it's safe yet or whatever. And that's perfectly valid and it's totally reasonable. But it's also like, well, it's because I can't tell them that they're using my dead name. So it's a very like catch-22. It's no matter what you do, you're hurt, and it's horrible, and truly I feel terrible for you. I actually found you from your flag video, and I'm happy I did. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Crazy Moki. I also just love that name. But no, a lot of people found us from that this year, and I'm super, super appreciative. And I also cannot thank YouTube enough, because a lot of people say that YouTube isn't great to YouTube creators, and I will tell you they are. So a lot of my other YouTuber friends that are also monetized on this platform, they get about 5 to 6 times the amount of revenue that I get from the same number of views. So it's totally not fair, because they all market themselves to 18-year-old up and adults that can buy their products, or they can, looking to build their business and stuff like that. That's all really profitable. Whereas LGBTQ creators like myself, we sort of have this wide spectrum of audience. And a lot of our viewers are under 18, even though we're not aiming for it to be under 18. There's a lot of viewers that are under 18. And because of that, suddenly we don't get as much ad revenue. And we have to do things like a children's book and other merchandise to make up for that lost revenue, in order to help sustain our team and help, buy better and bigger sets over the years, and help us pay for camera guys during major broadcasts, to help us pay for the rights to broadcast certain things on the channel. Like next year, in season 4, we already have contracts out to broadcast something at Stonewall Inn. That's all like government contracts and stuff like that, of like really big stuff that cost a lot of money to do. But it's stuff that, in order to do those things, we have to do a lot of merchandise. We have to do a lot of work to do it, compared to these other people. So it's not fair how YouTube sort of punishes LGBTQ creators in revenue. But at the same time, I will say it was because of them this year. They actually went ahead and sponsored our part 2, Pride Flags and What They All Mean episode. They sponsored that episode to go out there, and they invited us to be a part of collaborations with much larger LGBTQ creators on the platform, and that gained us a lot of popularity, a lot of the viewership that we had back in June. They did a lot for us, but then revenue-wise, it still sucks, So it's like, here's all these viewers, Matt, but you don't have the same ad revenue that all these other people have. So it kind of sucks. Ren the Direwolf says, I can't tell my class is homophobic because I've heard them make those "that's gay" jokes, but someone mentioned bisexuals, and they said they like both gender. A few minutes later, I asked her what she defined bisexual as, and I got a serious answer and not a homophobic one. I asked because they said both gender, not two genders. Okay, I got it. It's difficult to tell sometimes. I mean, anyone that uses gay as an insult, yeah, it's not a good thing to hear. But I have known a lot of people that made that joke to like me back in the day, and now they're like, but now we support you. So it kind of sucks for a while back in school, because it's like everyone uses that as a joke, but yeah. But that's why in certain states now you'll see, in America at least, there's certain states that ban using the word gay as an insult or as a joke in the school, and you can get like detention or out of school suspension for it. So we definitely wholeheartedly support that kind of stuff, because it shows that you can't use someone's sexual orientation or gender identity as a joke, because it's not a joke. But I will say, there are gay jokes that I'll laugh my head off at. If someone makes a hot dog joke to me, I'm laughing my butt off on it. But it's not. It shouldn't be in schools. It's later in life when you start understanding, that these things are jokes, and you're strong enough, like I am now, where I can take a gay joke. But back in the day, before I was out of the closet, a gay joke is not as accepted, because I don't know if their joke is really a joke or if it's just homophobia, you know? Whereas now it's like Becca can make a gay joke to me and I'm like, you know, hey, that's fine because I know she's a big supporter. Yeah, and there is a thing called a straight pride. It just they have straight pride events. Okay, so what happened 2 years ago? They held a straight pride event because they were like, you know, it's time that we get the same special treatment that gay people want. Like, so there's a whole nother thing there, by the way. But they were like, we're gonna hold our own straight pride event, and then they rented out this building to do it. The the building and the city it was going to be held in both banned them from using their using their property and banned them from doing the event because they heard it was homophobic. And they ended up getting a total of like 6 or 8 people to show up for this thing, and it was a national event. So congratulations, homophobes, you got like 8 people from across the country to show up to this thing. Meanwhile, like the LGBTQ pride event across the street, that's a whole lot more colorful, has like tens of thousands of people. So it's like, congratulations, homophobes. You really suck at throwing parties, apparently, without the gay people there. Um, it's just really, it's sad. But it's funny as hell. But no, so uh, what really doesn't make sense to me is this whole thing of like, oh, the straight people and cisgender people say that LGBTQ people all want special treatment. And so I'm like, okay, but then prove it. You know, how do we want special treatment? Because obviously you never went to, you know, first grade math class to know what an equal sign means, to learn. That's sort of been our slogan for like 100 years now of wanting equality. And you obviously don't know what equals means, so explain it to us. How do we want special treatment? You know, um, one of the people was gay in the straight event. Oh, that makes it even worse. They couldn't even get all of them being straight. Okay. Anyway, you can deep fry them, but don't eat them. Um, so no, what doesn't make sense to me is so I've been like, all right, so explain this special treatment thing to me, and then they're like, all right, so this special treatment thing for trans people is that they want to use the same bathrooms as cisgender people. And it's like, okay, so they want to use a public restroom. What the fuck is wrong with that? How is that special treatment? And you know, so like if I'm in in the stall next to another guy that just happens to be trans because they're just as valid as me as a cisgender man, like what does it hurt me? Like why would I ever complain about that, you know? Um and so all these like transphobic people are like, these trans people, they want special treatment and they want to use a public restroom just like I do. It's like, yeah, that's called equality. That's not special treatment. But they're like, by complaining about it, what they're saying is like that they don't want to use the same restrooms as trans people. And so, okay, so what you're asking for then as a transphobic person is that you want a special bathroom just for yourself so you don't have to be in there with a trans person. So what you're asking for is special treatment as a transphobic person. Like, so wait, I promise you, if you do enough research, if you do enough thinking, every argument that transphobic or homophobic people put up can be turned right back on them. It's like you're literally giving us the playbook of how to fight you, you know. And then they say, oh, all the gay people want the special treatment because they want a wedding cake just like straight people get for their wedding. They want to get served at the restaurant or at the movie theater for going on a date with their boyfriend just like straight people do. Okay. So what you're saying is we want equality, right? And somehow that's special treatment. Okay, whatever, you know? And then, but what you're saying in the fact that, you know, you're homophobic is that basically by wanting equality, we're asking for special treatment somehow. And so your special treatment then is like, all right, so as a homophobe, you want your own movie theater, you want your own school, you want your own everything. So it's like, don't you want special treatment away from the gay people? Like, it's so fucking ridiculous. Lucas says, I don't get straight pride. It's just straight up stupid and childish. Nice pun, by the way. They're just upset that the gays broke their Lego building. Yes, true. We did have a Lego. We did have a Lego Pride event this year and last year. That did happen. That was awesome. Bah Bahamut says, sorry, I can't pronounce names. Special treatment is, quote, you got a good grade on your test, so you get to look at your notes during the next one. Or you're my friend, so I'll be nicer to you than I would a stranger. Exactly. I'm sad Pride was canceled this year. It was in certain places. There was still a Pride event in Pottsville that we did broadcast on this channel in its entirety, and we held our own Pride event here at Powered by Rainbows. Go check it out now, because I was one of the keynote speakers for that event. Because when they were putting on the Pride event, it was such an honor to me, because, so, as I talk about in a previous episode, my uncle was gay, because I always heard stories from my grandmother that was, like my uncle was gay just like I was. He knew he was gay from a very early age, but he died before it was legal to be gay, and he had to move across the country all over the place, basically because he kept being chased by the cops, and it was like something where you can get in prison just for being gay back in his day. And then I came about, and I didn't come out of the closet until much later in life, because I was always told this is a sin and this area isn't accepting. And all of a sudden, this woman, Michaela, she puts on this Pride event, and she immediately reaches out to me, and she's like, hey, Matt, so do you want to help us organize this? And I'm like, I'm a huge activist at this point. And I'm like, yes, totally. I'm down to help you with this. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I didn't think it would go over well. And she's like, but we already have all the funding. We already have the location. They approved everything. And she's like, I need some help with getting it out to the press. And I'm like, I'm a member of the press, so I can help you with that, And then she's like, by the way, you run Powered by Rainbows, and you're the vice president of Pennsylvania Equality Project, the state's largest grassroots organization helping LGBTQ rights. I'm the vice president of that organization. I'm also the one of the administrators and representatives from the Schuylkill County LGBTQ Club, which this event was being held in Schuylkill County. And I'm like, and she's like, because you're all that, I want you to be the keynote speaker of this whole event. And I'm like, oh my God, that'd be amazing, And so I got up there, and I had this moment on stage where I'm just like, and I even included in my speech, I'm like, this is a moment that my uncle could have never imagined happening, let alone seeing his nephew speak at it, And so it was an incredible moment. So, gay Fruit Loops are gay Cheetos. Cheerios, yes. Abandoned account says, Powered by Rainbows, are you out to your parents? Are they accepting? Well, I host a TV show for 3 years now about being gay, so I hope they know. So basically my dad, I live with my dad, by the way, not because I can't afford being on my own. I'm an adult, but because it's just being alone sucks for either of us. And also at the same point, it's just cheaper to live together with my dad right now. So I get to save a lot of money for the future. So we do live together, and I have his undoubted support. He absolutely loves what I do. He loves that I help here. And my sister, my brother-in-law, my nephew, my brother-in-law's mom, everybody in my whole family, extended family, accepts me and supports me wholeheartedly. All my uh, cousins, they also literally all support me. I have yet to meet a family member that doesn't support me. Um, my mom, on the other hand, she divorced my dad 10 years ago. After, so the day I turned 18, she moved out, and she missed my birthday party just because she wanted to sign the divorce papers, because she knew if she divorced my dad any point earlier than that, she would have to pay child support for me, because my mom was horribly abusive. She was horribly lazy. She never came to any events my sister did as a cheerleader, or I did as a performer. I used to like literally be on tour as a performer, as a singer-songwriter, and I had, tours across the eastern coast of the United States, and I had, you know, literally headline tours where I would I had sold out theaters and gymnasiums to people, to strangers who wanted to come see me perform and hear the stories I had to share. And it was kind of heart-wrenching at the beginning of every show, or at the end of every show, where I would walk off stage and, I would hear 1,000 people. I would hear a couple hundred people, depending on the size of the venue, just screaming and going nuts. And, sometimes going nuts to the point where they're asking for an encore. And I'm like, I'm the headline show. My name is on the marquee of this building outside. And I mean, those are some of the best memories I have from my childhood. And I mean, I'm going to talk about that in future episodes, but really it's like it sucks where my mom never was in that audience. My dad was always in that audience, no matter what. And he was always the first guy in, last guy out to help me with all my equipment. He was there, but my mom was like sitting at home watching a soap opera, and that was my mom. And my mom pushed both my sister and I to suicide all the time. She didn't care about our lives. And so when I was coming out to everybody, my mom was the last person I told on earth. I literally put it on Facebook and everywhere before I told her in a private text message. And I literally just texted her. I'm like, and at that point I already had a boyfriend. And so I'm like, hey, Mom, so, yeah, I have a boyfriend. I'm gay. I don't really care if you accept me. Bye, And I'm just like, so that was my whole experience with her. And she did text back, and she's like, I do accept you. But ever since then, she has reached out to me one time after that, I think. And she reached out to me trying to control what I said in my show here, and saying that I can't talk about what I'm talking about. And I'm like, fuck you. You don't get to control what my TV show is about. And you don't get to control how I help people with my life. And just because you wanted your kids to commit suicide doesn't mean I want my students to commit suicide. So I want to help people. That's what I've chosen to do with my life. If you don't like that and accept that, you don't have to be a part of my life. So she does accept me for being gay. She just doesn't accept the fact that I talk about it. But everyone else in my life is fully accepting. And it's only certain things about what I talk about, by the way. It's not like every episode she's opposed to. It's just one or two that she's very opposed to. But that's the power of being my own producer. I get to decide what goes out there, not her. Sorry. People ask questions, and I'm answering them. Lucas says, don't worry, I'm straight, but you're also an ally, and you're here. So we love ally. In some ways, an ally actually means more. It's like me being gay and being an LGBTQ supporter. It's like, yeah, but I'm also gay, so I mean, I should be. Even though there are some gay people that don't support, which is weird. They're like, they're homophobic and yet they're homosexual, so they're like, gay people don't deserve rights. I should be in jail. It's like, what the fuck? What planet are you living on? Like, okay, but okay. Abandoned account says a bit off topic, but what is the mic PBR? It sounds really good. Okay. So the mic on the microphone that we use on our normal TV studio set that you see the big rainbow behind me, that is a Samson CO2 cardioid microphone. That's SAMPO. Wait, SAMPSON C02 cardioid microphone. This microphone that we use for the podcasts sort of style things and the live streams, this is a Shure SM58 microphone. One of the most standards, most professional, most industry widely accepted microphones in the world. But it's that way for a reason because it's so good. I could buy a different microphone for here from like Rode or one of the other companies, but I mean, I have Sennheiser stuff, a lot of Shure stuff, but really nothing sounds as good as Shure. And that's SHURE SM58. Although SM57 sound amazing on guitars. Just gonna put that out there too. Alexis says, speaking of microphones, polyamorous microphones. Technically, microphones are polyamorous. Because think of how many people speak into them over their lifetime. Like, this has been on so many concerts, on so many tours. Yeah. Crazy Moki says, we need to get this man the best puppy right now. Oh, thank you. Magnificent Blueberry Sand says, Matt needs a puppy. I do need a puppy. Puppy power. Thank you, guys. No, that's the thing. The moment this channel like gets to the point where this can be my full-time thing, or like a really good point where I can start like moving out or whatever, I'm seriously considering a puppy at that point, even if I don't have a boyfriend yet. But I really want a boyfriend first. I just want a boyfriend, okay? I'm lonely. I'm always thirsty and not in the way for drinks, and because I don't drink alcohol. I also have this whole theory about karma, but that's a whole other day. Oh, sorry. My backup server was going. Thank you for letting me know. Crazy Moki says, raise money for this man to get a puppy. Yeah. Lag be gone. Well, we have a server that's an online server that backs up all of our footage, and every like couple hours it restarts after I pause it because it thinks, oh, you're done whatever you're doing. Like, no, I still want it. So hopefully I'll go back in a second. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't care if I go broke. We need to get him a puppy. It'd be amazing. Give me one named Shadow. No, the day before, get this man a man. Yeah. Hashtag find Matt a man. That was trending for a long time. Well, then I found a boyfriend, and then we went on a date, and it went really well. And he was an owner, he was a handler, and I was a puppy. And so it went great. And then we went on a second date, and he never showed. So that's the thing. And then he just blocked me on all accounts, and I was like, so if you had wanted to dump me, why didn't you just tell me, you know? Lucas says you guys are amazing legends. Oh, thank you. The students here are amazing. I will tell you that. Get this man a man and a puppy. That's right. Or both simultaneously. That would be amazing. Just like find. Oh my God, can you imagine two puppies dating each other? Oh, that's the cutest thing. Anyway, I mean, not me using up all the money in my bank account to get him a Labrador Retriever. Oh my God, yes. I mean, if I ever do get a puppy, I want a Labrador. That's definitely a thing now. I like Matt stories. What else can I tell you? I mean, let's not go as dark as we went before, but Brohamont says, what a sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm quickly scanning it. That's it. What's the children's book about? I didn't get to hear the explanation if you did tell about it. There's an announcement video on the channel. But so basically, I mean, I'll just read you the synopsis. But so Shadow, who's pictured here, written and illustrated by moi. Shadow is a 3-month-old Labrador puppy who grew up on the streets of New York City, New York, as a stray puppy. He always wished that he would someday find his forever home, but then his dream came true on a November night on Christopher Street. He soon found a home with Troy and Alex, who showered Shadow with all of their love. It's sometimes hard for the puppy to realize he is safe now, but Troy and Alex have lots of patience because they know exactly how it feels to be afraid of coming out of the shadows. In the middle of the storyline is a fantastic educational message for kids and adults alike. Never give up in the face of hardship. Never give up on your dreams. Help one another through life and make each other laugh. Most importantly, Shadow's First Christmas shows us how to accept one another regardless of whom we love and shows us how normal it is to be gay. In the story, readers can also learn about the Stonewall National Park and learn how to be accepting of the LGBTQ family members in their lives when they are ready and have the courage to come out of the shadows. So that is Shadow's First Christmas. It's what it's all about. I mean, it's a long story, but it's, a good one. All lives matter. Yeah. Frogs and strawberry dresses. Oh, going back to that now, are we? Like strawberries. Anyway, I'm addicted to Harry Styles this week. Okay. With the duck girlfriend. I feel like that is already a song. But yes. Anyway, that's what the book's about. And if you buy the book now through December 24th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a portion of the proceeds will be going to the Trevor Project, LGBTQ Crisis Intervention, and Suicide Prevention Hotline, and all of the proceeds will be helping our show here at Powered by Rainbows to do weekly LGBTQ education worldwide. Get mad a boyfriend and a gay puppy. I mean, it would be awesome if I just started dating a guy who already had a puppy, because then it'd be like, congratulations, honey, you now have two. One you get to take for walks. I mean, you can just hold my paw while we go for walks too. But, your local boy says, I wonder who Shadow's partner would be. It's like part 2 of the story. Because there is a full, okay, so what? The book sounds great. Oh, thanks. They even have a main cast member come out in season 5. What? We're only in season 3 of the show, and I came out in season 1. So, no, but I love Matt's story. So, oh, thank you, and hugs right back. No, so if this does well enough, part 2 is gonna be Shadow finds a boyfriend puppy and goes to his first ever Pride event with his gay owners and 2 gay puppies. That might be part 2. And they might run into a lesbian couple. Because why not? Also, we're doing an art contest right now. I forgot to mention that. So if you you have over 75 Discord pings. Wow. I have none. You're more popular than I am. But so what was I even saying? The art contest. Yeah. Now, between now and the end of the month, December 31st, here, we're running an art challenge on the channel. So if you do fan art, if you do animations, if you do any kind of thing, Matt, happy bean puppy, yes. You can relate to the Shadow's first Christmas storyline. We have an announcement video that includes a little section of the book itself, so you can hear sort of a little bit about these characters. But you can draw Shadow, you can draw Alex and Troy, you can draw the family on Christmas Day, you can draw any part of this New York skyline. You can draw any part of the storyline. You can animate whatever you want. You can even make Alex and Troy, instead of a gay couple, make them a lesbian couple, make them a non-binary couple, whatever you want. And you can do whatever you want and submit it through our fan art channel on our Discord. On our Discord server, we have a whole channel dedicated to just fan art. So if you submit it through that fan art Discord channel, we're going to be making an extra special episode in January or February that's going to include all of that fan art. So just, put it on there and label it Shadow's First Christmas fan art. And you can interpret the story however you like. You can make it in a different city if you want. I don't care. Where do we submit our stuff for the contest? Well, it's not a contest. It's a challenge. It's a fan art challenge. Because there really is no prize other than the fact that you're featured on the channel that has 20,000 subscribers. And we'll definitely be shouting out your name of who submitted what. But if you could go to our Discord server, you can submit it on the fan art channel on there. Or you can also submit it fan art at Pride. You can also submit it to there. Fan art at prideclassroom.com. You can email it to us there. You should make a Shadow's first Pride event when it's June. It's like you read my mind. Yeah. So, but we want to see if this does well first. We don't want to do a part 2 if this one only sells 4 or 5 copies, because then it's really not worth it. Because we'd rather spend our time making a short film or something that goes out to 1,000 people, I won't be able to comment because I'm switching to the TV to watch this so I can work on the fan art. Okay. Well, we'll still love that you're here. All right, now we can talk about Crazy Moki all we want. Will I check the fan art today? Probably not. I wasn't set up to do that. I just wanted to chat for a while. I know. See, you're sure it'll do well, and I'm sort of sure now, but I'm still nervous because the reports still haven't come back. I'm always nervous. You have whenever I'm posting an episode, I'm like, yeah, I know I have 20,000 subs now, but you have no idea how nerve-wracking it is to like post an episode and you're like, but what if it bombs? What if like one person watches it and that's it? and uh and his partner is the pet of a lesbian couple. Aw. So is Shadow gonna become a multi-book series if it goes well? More than that. If it does really well, I'm hoping a multi-book series. I'm hoping an animation picked up by some sort of bigger broadcaster like Netflix or Amazon Prime or one of those. I'm really hoping that it becomes, or PBS. That would be amazing. I'm really hoping it becomes much bigger than just a book, you know. But all that takes a lot of scaling. But right now, this book is just going to help us make more content for this channel and do bigger and better things in the future. And then we will see for the future. Like, yeah. I'm in real life Shadow movie. Oh my god. Yes, that would be amazing. Magnificent Blueberry Sand says, we will always watch your videos, so there will always be more than one true perfect. I know, but I'm always nervous still. And secondly, when you have this many subscribers, you're like, oh, 20,000 people are great. And then it's like, you post a new episode and it gets like less than 1,000. You're like, wait, why did you subscribe to the channel? And I'm so confused because every channel I subscribe to, I watch like every single video. And I'm like, I'm so confused, but I'm also like, yeah, but I also have more time than the average person does. Well, this time of year, not really, but during the summer I do. But then during the summer this year, it was like, hey, YouTube is sponsoring you. You kind of have to do 3 episodes a week. Well, don't rip out your earrings. That's not a thing you should do. Anyway. I like how Coco's here. Just like, we almost named the dog after you. I'm probably going to buy the book next time I get enough money for it. I mean, yeah. It's always going to be available. What? Oh. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people are supporting the book so far, and I'm really happy. Like, I don't need to see the sales numbers in order to know. A lot of people just support the idea that we're having a book, and that's really good to me. Even my ex-boyfriend bought it. That was kind of cool. He reached out and he's like, yeah, it's awesome that you made a book. So I'm definitely buying a copy. So Chudley says, I watch all the videos. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm getting transferred to this thing called Safe because it's basically therapy. Oh, cool. That's cool. We have a couple like interviews next year lined up with like app developers for like transgender and transgender apps and really cool technology stuff. And I think maybe one on depression. I don't think it's that app necessarily, but you can't find it on Amazon. If you just if you see the pinned comment on this chat room here, it says, Powered by Rainbows, pin this comment. Get your copy now by clicking here, bit.ly/Shadows First Christmas. If you click on that, or if you just copy and paste bit.ly/Shadows First Christmas, you can find it on there. Or if you go to Amazon and search for Matt Haslam, MattHaslam, you'll find it that way. I did realize that if you just search for Shadows First Christmas, it may not be the first thing which pops up, which is weird because it's the only book that's named that. But, yeah. So you might have to use that link. Or if you go to the description of this video, instead of like the chat here, the description of the video, the first link that's there is the link that sends you directly to the book page. And it's only $15, which It's not always going to be $15. I've heard from the publisher, not from me. That's the weird part. But, well, if you can click on the link that's in the chat, click on the link that's in the description. I read your description. I'll buy you a coffee. How do you want it? Well, the coffee that you buy me is like just a $3 donation. But I like my coffee with chocolate milk and nothing else. How was that for an answer? What if we had an island in AC for the gays? AC? Atlantic City? Is that what you mean? I wouldn't want all the gays together at one point, because that's what the homophobes want. I have a lot of friends, Lucas says, from the LGBTQ community, and sadly most of them are depressed because their families don't accept them for who they are, and it's really sad because I want to help them. Oh, that's so sweet, but I don't know how to help them. Well, we have a lot of videos on our channel of how to help them and how to be a good ally, and as long as you're accepting of them, and buy magnificent blueberry sands, go have blueberries. As long as you're accepting, hopefully they know that they're loved by other people, and you can send them to our channel, and we're always accepting. And we basically consider ourselves to be a worldwide GSA club, which is Gender Sexuality Alliance Club, or Gay Straight Alliance Club, and we're always accepting here. Oh, Animal Crossing. Okay. That makes so much more sense. Okay. AC means Animal Crossing. What if we had an island in Animal Crossing for the gays? That's cool. I mean, we do have a Powered by Rainbows server in Animal Crossing already. With frogs, right? So if you're not familiar, Lucas, there's this quote that's by Alex Jones, who's a very bad conspiracy theorist. He thinks that, Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax and all these horrible things are hoaxes. But he once went that they're trying to turn the freaking frogs gay. So it's been funny. Just making fun of him for that. I don't know why it's lagging. So is it lagging for you guys? Hopefully not. I think of this show as a family. So do I. And yes, of course, with frogs. Frogs are awesome. We turned the freaking frogs gay. That should be a song. No, not a planet, but a fantasy world with elves and frogs. I mean, so far we have a Minecraft server, an Animal Crossing server. Who else created stuff with the fans? It's all fan stuff, by the way. We don't control any of it, but we have a lot of stuff. Oh, and in the Minecraft server, there's a diamond bank that's controlled by there's a Minecraft bank controlled by a puppy, and the puppy is the president. And I think that's adorable. I think it's amazing. Is it lagging? I feel like it's lagging. Wait, hold on. Maybe it's the server. Oh, hold on. Why is it lagging so much? How's the internet doing? Let me see. Oh yeah, the internet is not happy with me today. How do you join the AC server? I have no idea. I'll be completely honest. I don't understand the first thing of Animal Crossing. I was just sent a screenshot of the Powered by Rainbow's like fan built one, and they were like, "Hey Matt, so we made this thing for you," and I'm like, "Cool." So, I mean, someone already sent me something for Shadow's First Christmas of a puppy in Minecraft and having Alex and Troy as Minecraft people, And I love that because I'm like, that's so creative, because it's like, it's people that, not everyone knows how to draw like really, really well. Like, there's a lot of people on our server that just do fantastic jobs at drawing. And then there's other people who are like, hey, I want to do it differently. I want to do an animation because I'm better at that. Or I want to do, instead of trying to draw, let me just create something in Minecraft where it's a puppy in it. I'm like, hey, I don't care. Literally, I appreciate everyone who spends any time helping the channel, or in, you know supporting our work in any way. And um it's incredible to me if, like, I can put out something and then people make fan art at all. That's just incredible to me, um or the fact that, like, I put out a children's book and people are willing to buy that, like, that's it, it's so amazing to me if, like, people are willing to, support the community, but support me and support my work in my life. That's just, it makes me tear up, man. It does. So we're not gonna talk about that for long. He said, I had to privately text my friend and said, you don't ever use someone's dead name or the wrong pronouns consciously like that. It's disrespectful, and if person's name saw that, they wouldn't like you. Very true. And very good point to call it out when it happens, and make sure they know they did something wrong. Have you guys heard of Elliot Page? Yes, we have. That was major news this week. We talked about that on the stream earlier this week. Like the live after show party after the whole thing was announced on Friday. We did a special live stream at like midnight that night. But yeah, we read off Elliot Page's whole coming out story, because Elliot Page is a famous actor here in America, and he came out as transgender on Twitter. And what happened? So first off, like, we knew we were going to have a bunch of people support it. We knew the transphobes were going to be like, in their dumbass ways. So we knew that was going to happen. But what we didn't know was going to happen was every network that Elliot Page has ever worked for did the most beautiful thing in the whole world. Did you hear about that, Chudley? Did you hear about what the networks did? Because if not, I can tell it again. If y'all didn't hear about what the networks did. Your brother said, okay, Toby says, my brother said, if you identify as a boy, I identify as a dog. Well, I identify as a dog, so I mean, more specifically a Labrador, but I would say in defense of that, rough him. I always have the ears at the ready. Mostly because, like, super chat donations of $5 or more get me to have puppy ears on. But so okay. Then he said, I have a mental illness. Oh, damn. So Chudley, I recommend checking out our episode on the science of being transgender, because it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that being transgender is in your brain, and you are completely valid through thousands upon thousands of scientific studies, and it's actually it's actually a not just a scientific fact, but a scientific law now that your that your gender is confirmed by your brain, and you're born with the gender you are supposed to identify as, but you're not always born with the right genitalia. Bahamut says, Bahamut says PBR is furry confirmed. If you didn't know I was a furry, this is your first week watching the channel, welcome to the channel. We are furry friendly here. I want to desperately date a furry because, I mean, if you're against cuddling up next to a furry, then you just don't like comfy things. Okay. And then secondly, if you're a furry like me and a puppy, I desperately love cuddles. So, yeah. Matt speaks to dogs attack. Yes. You can join the Discord. Anybody can join the Discord. You don't have to be LGBTQ. What did the networks do? So what happened was, okay, so Elliot Page came sorry. Elliot Page came out as trans, right? And what many if they identify as a dog, then rub his belly. Aw, thank you. I love that. But a lot of people in the community, trans, gay, a lot of people in the community and activists across the board are calling Elliot Page's coming out story on Twitter, even though it wasn't terribly long. A lot of people are calling it the most beautiful and the most powerful coming out story that they've seen in a long, long time, because it was so beautifully worded. Like, it was just perfect. And it was also like poignant of like, I know I'm in this lucky position where I get to accept myself, and and they have their own security team, and they don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff. And their life partner fully accepted them and said, I'm going to stick by you, which was also beautiful. It was such a beautiful moment. And then, like, I think it was the day after, right? Netflix, who basically, Elliot Page has worked for a lot of networks over the years, but the main one was Netflix, right? And Elliot Page is all over Netflix on a lot of different shows. And so Elliot Page comes out. Netflix, like, I think the very next day, they don't just retweet it. They don't just support Elliot Page by making a post about it. What they do is they spend thousands of dollars re-editing every single episode of every single show Elliot Page has ever been in. And they in all of those episodes, they change the credits in the beginning and at the end of every single episode. That way it reflects Elliot Page's true name instead of his dead name. And I will tell you, as like a producer of a very, very small show like this one, to re-edit episodes that have already gone out cost a lot of money. So for Netflix to do it on that large of a scale, that was tens of thousands of dollars to them. That was a decision that they literally, they had no legal obligation to do it. No one asked them to do it. They just went ahead and spent tens of thousands of dollars of their own money just to confirm the gender of Elliot Page, which was just incredible. And so they went ahead and they re-edited all of these episodes, and now if you watch any of the episodes Elliot Page was ever in of any of these shows or any of the movies, you're now going to see Elliot Page instead of his dead name. And then, immediately after that, Netflix is like, haha, we showed you all up, and because here's the thing, Netflix, they know what kind of power they have, and they know if they kept Elliot Page's dead name, people would go, all right, Netflix doesn't really support trans people, or they know transphobes would use that against Elliot Page and go, well, here's Netflix, and they keep using your dead name, right? They know this. So Netflix changed all this stuff, and then right after that, all the other networks Elliot Page has ever worked for said, good point, Netflix. We're all going to do it too. And so every network that Elliot Page has ever worked for, the shows have been syndicated on many different networks at this point. Like, basically what happens is you work for a production company, and then that show gets sold to a broadcaster, a network like Netflix, but then it also might be sold to CBS, to NBC, to it might be sold and resold 100 different times. All the other networks said, good job, Netflix. We're going to copy what you did because it was amazing. And so it was like the most powerful week in broadcasting history for the trans community. And it was just like, as a broadcaster, I know how much this stuff cost, you know? And then as an activist, you know, like my team and I, for Powered by Rainbows here, and also my team at PA Equality Project, we're all sitting back watching this happen, and we're just like, what just happened here? And literally all of us simultaneously were saying, this is by far the most powerful win the trans community has had in most likely this generation. And it's like, wow. You know? So yeah, it was great to see. And we don't talk about the oranges. The oranges are going out January 20th. Trump jokes. Yeah. Yeah, it was quite awesome to see that. How can I tip Netflix for that? Just keep your account if you have one, or sign up for one if you don't. How did you get started on YouTube? I started. Oh God. Well, PBR is not my first TV show on here. And YouTube is not the main well, I mean, it's the main broadcaster of Power by Rainbows, but it's not the main broadcaster of our show, or overall our shows over the years. So years and years ago, I had a couple more shows air, and they were all okay, you know. But I really didn't enjoy making them. This is the first show that I really, really enjoy making every week. And like my other shows, I just started because I was like, well, I have a camera, so why not? Compared to, and I have a camera, and I'm a filmmaker, and so why not teach a little bit about what I know as a filmmaker of how to make films, or how to do audio and lighting for live stage events, you know? And so sort of it became this like advertising thing of like, well, I can teach you a small lesson here, but then next week when you need a consultant to tell you how to do specific things, well, hire me for X number of dollars an hour, and I'll gladly help you out. And it did really help with the consulting for my company, and it sort of was just this big advertisement. Then over the years, we started to like broadcast Halloween parades, political rallies, political debates, all this kind of stuff to help people learn the news of what was happening and all this sort of stuff. So that's sort of how we got the start of broadcasting big things. And then after I went to my first ever Pride event in Washington, D.C., I talk about this in another episode, but I went there and I saw all these little kids, because I was bawling my eyes out, happy tears and stuff like that, seeing such an amazing community behind me. And I always felt like I had the power and support of the whole community, which is, like there's 7 billion people on Earth, and that means there's over 780 million LGBTQ people on Earth. And so I just felt the whole power of the community at that moment. And I go, there's all these kids that aren't out of the closet. From the time I knew I was gay at 11 years old, having my first ever crush, to the time I actually came out, I was, you know, that was 14 years of my life, and I wanted to help these kids know they are normal and know that they are loved and that they can come out, and I want to help people come out. And so I started a little YouTube video, and I'm like, well, I can post my coming out story, and I can try to help like many other people did, with their coming out stories online. And I want to do something different than other LGBTQ creators at the time. I wanted to just make a classroom. I wanted to teach LGBTQ issues. I want to talk about the news. I want to teach you guys what's going on. I want to teach you guys that being gay is completely normal and it's not a sin in any major religion of the world. I want to teach how being trans is completely normal and it's scientifically proven to be valid. And I want to teach all these things that really, sadly, we don't get to learn in our school districts across America or around the world. They don't talk about it, so we will, And I sort of had that mentality going in, and I'm like, but I want to make it fun. I want to make it interactive, so you can always ask questions. You can always ask for us to cover certain topics. And I'm like, hey, I want to make this just a fun thing on the side I do. And I told myself in the very beginning of it all, I'm on the ride home from Washington, D.C. to Pennsylvania, which takes about 4 to 5 hours of a drive. And I'm coming home from this Pride event, and I promised myself, I'm going to do something online. I'm going to do some sort of show that helps people. And if at the very end of all of this, after how many episodes I do, doesn't matter. If I help just one kid come out of the closet, all of this would have been worthwhile. And I promised that to myself. And then, fast forward a little bit, and here we are in season 3, about to end season 3 for the year, because our season ends December 31st. We start our new season semester on first Friday of February of 2021, so right around the corner. But here we are ending season 3 with 200 and some odd episodes of the show now. We have 1 million views on the channel. We have 20,000 subscribers almost. We have 150 episodes this season alone, over 100 and some odd hours of content on the channel. That was very difficult to make. It's quite staggering, those statistics, but really those statistics mean nothing compared to the amount of people we've helped, and we help. Bye, Lucas. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for becoming a subscriber. But like I said, to all of your friends that aren't as accepted and stuff like that, definitely send them our way, and we can help them. But it sort of just became this thing of we now get to help hundreds of people all the time, and now we get to save lives. So it's all been a very, very powerful year for us. But I love gay jokes. I would love to hear them. What? Alexis just says nobody can have head. I don't know if you know what that means, but I know what that means. And yeah, we're just gonna skip over that comment as if it never happened, because Matt wants monetization. Oh man, what do you call a lonely gay guy? What do you call a lonely gay guy? I don't know. What do you call a lonely gay guy? Any guesses? I don't know. Did you mean something else other than head, by the way? Uh, by the way, here's a pun. I see. I do a pun at the very end of every episode, and only certain people get it. By himself. That's good. I like that. It's okay if we call you something else. Poison acid? What? I'm so confused. I feel like there's like 5 conversations in the comments. And I'm only like one of them. Oh well. Anyway. How are we all doing? It's 11 a.m. Which means we've been going for 2.5. Wow, we've almost 3 hours. Yeah. Yikes. Alright, so at 3 hours, I'm going to cut it off. I was talking about eating Trump's head. Oh, still. No, nobody wants that. You call him Bone Alone. I love that. That's good. That's a good for puppies, too. We like to bone things. And we like... I'm not going to say it on YouTube. Okay. There are some puppy jokes there that I can very easily say, but they're for Twitter. I'll trade you half of head for one. What? Lily Games. I just ordered the book. Thank you. Thank you so much. You will not be disappointed, hopefully. I was like, you're not going to be disappointed. And then I'm like, well, unless you have really like high expectations, and you should. We did a really good job on it. But thank you for the order. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. My Buy Pride hoodie is coming this Thursday. Wait, the one from PBR? Did you get a Buy Pride? Thank you. And if it came from PBR, thank you. But still cool that you're getting a Pride hoodie. Still cool. What? What's the hissing about? Are we snakes now? I mean, it's okay if you're a snake. I'm just saying. It's okay. I mean, I'm a puppy, so we're inherently scared of snakes. But... Y'all are sending fan art in already, which is crazy. It's cool. I like how Spencer sends me an email and like, do you want to cuddle? Like, yes, I do, but not with you, Spencer. Spencer is the shop, by the way, not... Sky sends me... Sky Mirror. Oh. Okay, well, this is just too cute not to show on stream. This is Sky drawing Alex and Troy. Oh, thank you. And Pride Love t-shirts. Oh. You're a kitten. Well, that just means you're perfect. Thank you for the fan art, Sky. I love it. I'm not a snake. I just want it. Hisses. Alrighty. Rod Sorry, I'm awful with names today. Rod Morrison says, I ordered one off Amazon. It's the bicolors with a rainbow pull string. Very cool. Wait, you're a frog with a mushroom hat? Still cool, but mushrooms are yucky. in real life, not as part of a perfect, awesome joke. Thanks. Thought of that all by myself. Uh, you should watch our gay jokes episode, and I'm just like, oh my god. There were some like bloopers for that where it's just bombed, and my producer's just like, Matt, no, that's not gonna work as a joke. By the way, I was wondering if you liked the fan art I sent ages ago. Which one? There's a lot of fan art that we get. I'm really sorry. Probably. I mean, have I ever not liked fan art? No, we don't say Kanye West on this channel. Kanye West is homophobic, and we don't like him. You're an axolotl? Speaking of fan art, yeah, if I do it that way, I can probably show it off of like. Lily says, very bold of Teespring to assume I like Trump. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I have heard that people go to our Teespring store and then they get recommended Trump other stores, and I'm like, yeah, no, sorry Teespring, it ain't gonna work like that. My audience doesn't like Trump. Did you see the couch doodle? You did. Okay, so here's the thing. I look at every piece of fan art that we get sent in. I don't always show it on camera because just the sheer number of it, but I do love it. I'm trying to think. Crazy Moki says, gotta go take my dog for a walk. I'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. Well, I'm still here. Where's my walk? How dare you? How dare you take your dog for a walk, but not me? Anyway, I really want to go for a walk after this is over. Bahamut says, Trump really is a visual cancer. Yep, that's very, very true. Let me see if I can find the couch one, though. Did you hear about Chris Pratt interview and Elliot Page reply? I don't know how long ago it was. No, I didn't see that. What? Oh my god. West Branch Pride just shared the book. Oh my god. That's a huge Pride event in Pennsylvania. Oh my god. How is this happening? So many fantastic organizations are sharing the hell out of the book right now. Oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, anyway. Let me see if I can find the it was on Stephen Colbert. Oh, I didn't see that. I have to check that out now. Arizona Sharpie ballots? Oh, okay. Okay, the Sharpie thing has to... Okay, that makes so much sense now. Yeah, the Sharpie ballot thing didn't make any sense to a lot of people because it's like the state literally said that using Sharpies is more secure than using pen or pencil. And then they're like, how come all these people use Sharpies? It's like, well, the state literally did a commercial telling people to use Sharpies. Maybe you should check the state's like advertising budget before you look at like and condemning them. It's stupid. But so are most homophobes. PBR, let's see. Who had the couch fan art? Let's see. Haha, sorry, it just came to me, and I thought someone else might get a laugh out of it. From Jay. Oh, he Sharpies his face orange every day and has skin cancer. Love it. All right. Your local. Oh, okay. Your local. Okay. Um. You're gonna get your. Okay. Uh. No, I didn't. I mean, it's in here. It's in our inbox. Oh. Well, that was easy. Oh, I do remember that. Okay. This is your local bad boy. Hold on. I'm horrible at aiming things towards cameras, which is, kind of half my job as a filmmaker. But all the little puppies, cats, there's a mouse, there's a squirrel, there's a fox, and the puppy even has a rainbow collar like I do. It's so cute. Yes, and it's a rainbow couch, which makes it 10 times better. Make anything rainbow and it automatically makes it 10 times better. So, yeah. Alyssa says, "Good morning, Matt. How's your day going?" Pretty good. Because we're celebrating the book. I do. I shameless plug all the time. But I'm gay. It's okay. Plugging is... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, man. Matt has the facts. Being gay is okay. And hey, kids, plugging is fun. Oh, that's too good. Oh, my God. Rod's Marsum says, "Trump was amazing in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. How did he play those Oompa Loompas?" I'm amazed. No, Trump is the little girl that's so spoiled and just goes, "I want it now." That's Trump. Although that girl didn't want to, have intercourse with his daughter, so not necessarily like Trump. For real, how much Photoshop did it take to get that many different Trumps? Being gay is okay. That was a good one. Okay, I like that. Blueberry Girl? Yeah, Blueberry Girl. All right. This is the story of a puppy named Shadow and his first ever Christmas. Shadow is the 3-month-old Labrador Retriever, whose fur is soft and light brown. See the anime? Cute. All right. You know what we're gonna do? Hold on. Text. No, we're gonna keep down here. Yeah. See, you still know it's there. I hate Trump because he disrespects trumpets. I mean the instruments. Yeah. Did you like the portrait I did like ages ago of Sky? Again, it's somewhere in the inbox. We're gonna do fan art like episodes. You guys do know that. I hope you do know that. He walked the streets of this big city and found scraps of food laying next to the garbage cans outside of beautiful restaurants. See this guy? Well, see the city. He would grab pieces of meat or other fancy dishes that the humans threw away, and he would run to the nearest alleyway to eat his dinner alone. When it was garbage day in the city and the humans sadly cleaned up their messes, Shadow would walk to the park and stand beside the water fountain, waiting for the humans to sit and eat their lunches. Sometimes he would get lucky, and the humans would be too busy talking on their phones to notice they left half of their sandwich unguarded. Virtual hug. He would stand next to the water fountain as little children and adults walked up, stood beside the fountain, and threw shiny coins into the water as they closed their eyes and wished for something really important. Well, he's Alyssa says, why does the book start so sad? Well, he's a stray puppy in New York, but then I promise it gets uplifting. But on one particular day, see, already getting right. Shadow noticed the little girl making her wish before tossing her coin into the fountain. Shadow didn't have any coins to throw, and even if he did, he didn't know how his paws could throw a coin. So Shadow waited for the little girl to throw her coin into the water and closed his eyes, hoping the little girl's coin would grant Shadow's wish as well as hers. Shadow opened his eyes, and sadly, he was still standing beside the fountain in the middle of a big park in the center of a giant city. He thought maybe his wish didn't work, because maybe his fountain only works for humans. So Shadow walked away and found what was left of a cheeseburger sitting beside a garbage can. It was the best tasting thing a puppy could hope to find on a day in the city. A few hours passed by, and soon Shadow found himself looking for a place to sleep for the night. He walked down 7th Avenue and turned right at Christopher Street. But Shadow didn't know how to read, so the street signs didn't help him find his way around this big city. Instead, Shadow relied on landmarks around the city to find his way to his favorite spots. It was on Christopher Street where Shadow saw these two gentlemen walking out of a building and heading towards him. The building had this giant neon sign lighting up the window saying Stonewall Inn. But Shadow didn't know it was a hangout spot for gay and transgender people. All Shadow saw was the two men walking towards him. They were holding each other's hands and smiling ear to ear. And yeah, this whole book was entirely written and illustrated by myself. So, and it is available right now on Amazon by going to bit.ly/Shadows First Christmas. And it's only $15, by the way, and it supports LGBTQ causes. It supports the show here and helping us create weekly LGBTQ content worldwide, and it helps now until December 24th, 2020. It actually also goes to helping the Trevor Project, Crisis Intervention and Suicide Prevention Hotline. We are donating a portion of the proceeds to Trevor Project until December 24th, which is when we expect a majority of the sales to happen. So we want to give them a giant check. Alex, look at that cute little puppy, the one man said to the other. I wonder why he's out here alone at this late hour. The other man replied, does he have a collar? Maybe we can call his owner and help him find his way home. The two men came closer to Shadow, and soon he got so scared that he quickly ducked underneath a mailbox. He closed his eyes and wished the two humans would pass by and not hurt him. Does anyone want to make shrink plastic charms for Shadow? I can do one of Matt too. You can do whatever you want, man. Whatever you want, Alexis. Whatever you want. All open for you guys. The one man's voice said, I think he's scared, Troy, but I don't see any collar around his neck. Do you think he's a stray puppy? Maybe, the other man replied. I mean, if you want, we can take him home and make sure he has a warm place to stay for the night, then come back tomorrow to see if anyone is looking for him. This is Shadow all scared. Before he could tell what was going on, Shadow was being lifted up into the air, and the two humans were scratching him behind his little ears. Their scratches felt amazing, and it allowed Shadow to calm down a little and feel more comfortable in their arms. Alex and Troy carried him a few blocks back to their home, and soon they were setting up a blanket for him to sleep on at the foot of their bed. Bye, Sky. Thanks for joining us. I came out of the cabinet. Awesome. Hopefully we're accepted. Cabinet. Good one. What? Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys are so nice. The two humans grabbed some leftover chicken from a small container and ripped it up into pieces. Then one of them put all the pieces into a bowl and placed it on the floor in front of Shadow. He licked it, and it tasted much better than any of the scraps outside of the fanciest restaurants in the city. Soon the bowl was licked clean, and his tummy was no longer growling. Before too long, it was time for the humans to go to sleep, so the humans lifted Shadow up and placed him on the blanket. But Shadow wasn't used to sleeping on top of tall things like beds, so he kept jumping down and raced under the bed, where he felt a little safer. The humans eventually gave up and went to bed themselves, leaving Shadow under the bed. The first night in a new place is always scary for a little puppy, though, so it was completely normal. When Shadow woke up in the morning, the humans cut up another piece of chicken. It would be nice to have some little paws around, and you always said you wanted a dog, so what do you want to name him? Troy replied. How about Coco? Because it's almost time for Christmas, said Alex. Or we can call him Shadow, because he always likes to hide, replied Troy. Oh, that would be cute, Alex said. Sort of like you and I hid in the closet for so many years. I love it. And so his name became Shadow. As the days passed by, Shadow got more and more attention from the two humans. He eventually got his own metal bowl for breakfast and dinner. He got a nice, comfy bed to sleep on, right beside the large bed for the humans. They even got him a few toys to play with while they were at work, and a bag of delicious kibbles, which made Shadow a very happy puppy. The humans would take him on a walk around the few city streets. The only difference now the only difference now is that Shadow has a rainbow collar around his neck and a circular piece of metal attached to it with his name. His name tag jingles around whenever Shadow shakes his head. But Shadow likes to hear the sound, so he shakes his head a lot. His collar is attached to a rope that Alex or Troy hold in their one hand as they hold each other's hand with the other. I'm glad you like it, Alyssa. Soon on his walks, Shadow began to notice the ground was covered in white powder, and it tasted just like water. The humans all started to wear big jackets to cover over their bodies. Shadow began walking a little quicker because it was cold outside, and he didn't like the ice on his paws. But time after time, without fail, the two humans always let Shadow come back inside their home and lay down next to a warm piece of metal along the walls of their living room. Shadow didn't understand why the room suddenly had a giant tree in the middle of it, but the humans brought it inside, so Shadow thought maybe the tree was cold as well and needed a place to stay. Just like he did. They even decorated it with balls and lights, which made it look like it belonged in one of those fancy restaurants. Maybe the humans were opening a restaurant, Shadow thought to himself as he began staring at it. Thanks for sharing your bagels with everyone. Thank you. Sorry, getting to the comment now. Your emojis. Sorry. But on one particular night, the humans went to bed early. "It's time to go to sleep, boy," said Troy. Shadow followed Troy into the bedroom, circled his blanket, and rested his chin on his front paws. He wasn't tired enough to go to sleep yet, but he listened as the humans talked to each other and quickly started to snore. Soon after, Shadow drifted off to sleep and chased squirrels in his dreams. Many people don't know it, but most puppies chase squirrels so they can say hello and make a new friend. When he woke up in the morning, Shadow heard many different voices close by. None of them were voices he's ever heard before. So he peeked his snout around the corner and saw strangers suddenly sitting on the couch, and others in the kitchen, helping Troy and Alex make food. Oh my god, Matt, you should make a shower stuffed animal. Oh, Shadow. You should make a Shadow stuffed animal. Oh, that would be cute. I feel like that's already Dr. Woofers, though, which I've showed on the stream before. Like a brave puppy, Shadow went up to the one woman standing in the kitchen and yelled at her, "Arf, arf!" But when the woman looked down, she wasn't afraid of... I did that bark a little too well, didn't I? Okay, but when the woman looked down, she wasn't afraid of him, and she wasn't running away. Instead, she looked at him with a smile and said, "So this is Shadow. Your pictures do not do him justice, Troy. He's so cute." "Well, Mom," Troy answered, "I'm just glad he finally decided to wake up. It's almost time to open gifts." The woman began to bend down, reaching out her hand in front of Shadow's wet little nose. Before she could bend down all the way, Shadow went running back into the bedroom as fast as his little puppy paws would let him go. He jumped under the bed and hoped the woman wasn't following him. Shadow trusted Alex and Troy enough now that he knew they weren't going to hurt him. But all of these other people were strangers Shadow never met before. These strangers had Shadow so frightened that his tiny paws were now shaking. And that is, again, only a little part of the story. Sorry for hitting the mic so many times there. But that is only a little part of the story of Shadow's first Christmas. And that is the most I can share. No. So, I hope you guys enjoyed a little snippet of the story. And I hope you guys will go over to Amazon right now and buy the whole book. That way you can read it for yourself. You can read the whole thing. So it's an incredible story. And right after that little part is where we get into the coming out story of Alex and all sorts of different things. It's really a great storyline. So I really hope that you can go and get it right now. And thank you so much for supporting it. Thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you for being here. Don't rip off your earrings. I don't know what's going on in the comments now, but if someone makes Shadow stuffed animal, I'd buy it. Oh my god, yes. I would love that. So if you're a plush toy maker, hit me up. Get in contact because we would love to do that. But Demi says, "I'm already 100% getting it." Yeah, go and available right now on Amazon. It's a great book, and it's something that, honestly, if I was, a little kid reading this, I would have known that it's completely normal and perfect to be LGBTQ, and I would have learned a lot sooner that this is perfectly okay to be the way I am and love the way I love. And so, this is the start of all of it. And again, this is only the start. So we have, Shadow's first Pride event, or Alex and Troy adopt a child, or we have a lot of different ways we can go with this in the future. And Shodo, thank you so much. We definitely encourage you to go get the whole book. I'm really sorry I can only share with you a quarter of the whole story, because if I shared the whole thing, then why get the book? So I really want to encourage you to go get the whole book. And in getting it, you would support our channel, and until December 24th, you'd also be supporting the Trevor Project. So, really, thank you so much for all the support and all the fan art you're already sending in for Shadow. I'm sure I'm sure we're gonna get a lot more. But I'll probably be going live a couple more times this year, yet for the book and for other things. I know this Friday we have an episode coming out on 15 great LGBTQ gifts you can get, or 15 great gifts you can get LGBTQ people. A gift guide again that's coming out this Friday. Saturday we have a 2-minute little thing. It's a quick tip for parents this holiday season of hopefully getting parents to accept their LGBTQ loved ones, and it's a quick tip to help them defend LGBTQ children and loved ones this holiday season, and make sure that you are safe in whatever environment that you're forced to be in with your family if they are homophobic or transphobic. So definitely another episode you want to check out there that's coming this next Saturday. A lot coming out. And then the following week we have another episode, and then it's Christmas week. So we'll have, I think, 2 episodes coming out there, including bloopers. YouTube is sending us a gift, and then the following week after that is the end of the year, which will have our Dear Future Me video coming out, and Rainbow Rewind 2020 coming out. So all of that is happening this year yet. So a lot planned, and then we'll be heading off into semester 4 of the show. So anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that rainbow subscribe button so you don't miss out on new episodes of the show. I feel like I messed that up. Smash that rainbow. Smash the like button. Comment down below your LGBTQ friendly thoughts. Hit that rainbow subscribe button so you don't miss out on new episodes of the show. And share this video with others. As always, I'm your host, Professor Pride. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. It's probably a homophobe that's disliked it. But we made it this long, 3.5 hours. But thank you all so much for joining us. Change it to a like button, please. And Matt, do you need to get a hold of a Build-A-Bear and have them make a shadow? Oh my god, that would be amazing. All right, that would be amazing. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. See y'all next week with a new episode, and go get the book right now if you haven't already. Thank you, Lily Games, for already getting it. Thank you, everyone who's already supported it and already gotten it. Thank you for supporting our show and for supporting Trevor Project. It means the world to me. You have no idea how nervous I was before I put out the book of if it's gonna sell 1 copy. So I'm really happy with how it's done already. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's sharing the book everywhere online. And thank you to everyone who's sharing it with their school districts, with their town libraries, with everyone, with the GSA advisors and stuff of schools. Definitely thank you so much for doing that. And if your school wants to win a signed copy of the book, we have 1 or maybe 2, depending on what another person gets back to me with here, available. We definitely have 1 grand prize available of a signed copy personalized to your school, going out on December 11th. So if you want to be entering for a chance to win that, it has to be a school employee or an advisor or anyone that is an official employee of that school, and your school must be recognized by the state you live in. Has to be in America, by the way. Sorry. I really want to give away a book to some school anywhere in the world, but legally, American laws and American Trade Federation, American Trade Bureau, whatever that's called, they do not allow us to give away anything anywhere else. So I'm allowed to do a Zoom call or whatever with a school somewhere else, but I'm not allowed to actually give a physical item away to someone overseas. So I'm really sorry about that. Even like Canada and Mexico are off limits to us. So if you're in America, want a signed copy of the book, enter for a chance to win this book now by going to bit.ly/SFC giveaway. And you can enter for your school for a chance to win. There's a bunch of schools already entered for that, so make sure you're signing up for that giveaway because that's guaranteed. December 10th is the last day you can enter for your school to win that. December 11th is when we're picking a winner, and we will be shipping it out on December 11th. So make sure you're signing up for that. If your school wants to be entered for a chance to win a free copy of the book, no purchase necessary, void where prohibited, terms and conditions apply. See the website giveaway website forum for details. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now. Love you all.